Welcome back to Alone and Unafraid, where we explore the intersections of everyday life, mental health, and mindset with ordinary people who have or are now facing incredible challenges. My name is Thad King, and I'm your host. All right, people, let's talk coffee. You already drink it every morning, every late night grind, but are you drinking good coffee, or are you settling for that burnt gas station sludge that tastes like disappointment? If you're like me, I lived at 7-Eleven and Circle K, Wawa, drinking that gas station coffee. But let me put you on to something better, Polestar coffee. These guys aren't just roasting coffee, they're crafting it. Small batch, high quality, straight up delicious. No gimmicks, no bullshit, just damn good coffee made by people who actually give a shit and that you'd want to hang out with. And just because you listen to Alone and Unafraid, you're getting 10% off when you use offer code ALONE at checkout. That's right, support your friends, fuel your day, stop drinking garbage. You're already drinking coffee anyway, might as well make it count. Head over to polestarcoffee.com, grab a bag, use offer code ALONE at checkout, and taste the difference. You're not going to be sorry, I promise you. Do it. All right, well, hey.
Hi.
What's up?
Nothing.
We're back.
Yeah. This time in person.
Yeah, this is this is a super in person one. We typically do like a, what do you call it? Like
online.
Fucking online. Yeah. So I like the in-person ones better because I think the conversation's a lot better. But join us today. We've got Logan Brokaw and Mike Maynard's with us. Guys, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Well, I think today, let's just get in how we kind of all know each other. So Tyler, Mikey, and I were all in 3160. Were you in the regiment?
Yeah, I was in 1st Battalion.
Okay. Were you in, were you a Little Bird guy or Black?
I was a Charlie Company guy.
Oh, okay.
DAP guy.
All right. Well, yeah, those are good days. Those were the good days. But
was that as horrible as I think it was? Having
did you
to
get sick?
Sit in the back of that thing.
I didn't get sick. I did get sick once. But there was guys, I mean, every range, they were barfing.
Gross.
Every single one.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah. They'd literally get in there as soon as they shot, they'd start barfing. So
Ugh.
I didn't get sick.
Yeah, I know pilots that couldn't make it and they were like getting kicked out.
But there was certain pilots too that they would they would fly a certain way that would make it worse for people.
Yeah.
And that I have one buddy who anytime he heard like immediate reattack, he would instantly just grab the bag because he knew I can get one pass and then like breathe it out and then get another pass. But as soon as he heard that, he'd be like,
yeah, I remember Mark Stone, you know, Mark Stone
yeah.
was telling me all this stuff about people puking and like, you know, that takes a special breed to do that, man. Like, and all the
retards.
Yeah. Well, hey, you said it.
Well, I was telling him the other night that, I mean, it literally, it's like you got in a fight, like range nights. Like we would just go to the range and just shoot all night long. I mean, it felt like you were in a fight.
Yeah.
Gross.
Well, you know, like
beat you up.
Have you heard the cancer rates from the C1 guys?
Mm-hmm.
They're like way through the roof because of all the cordite and, I mean, it's just, you know, you think about it. I remember watching you guys come back from the range and like everybody's like face is like all black and smudged and, you know, and I remember thinking when we would be deployed, I'd be like, man, fuck those DAPs. They never have to go down in the dirt. And then like one mission, they'd be like, hey, we need an extra assault bird. And we'd be like, and everybody's butthole was puckering up because they'd have to go land in the dirt. But
well, I mean, we were dual role. So we would do slick stuff all the time. Just, you know, you don't want to be doing a max gross landing with a DAP on target or something like that.
No.
Yeah, that was, I don't know. It's such a, I love, my favorite thing is busting balls with Apache guys about like, oh, that's cool, man. Like, we can just rearm ourselves and in flight, you know?
Yeah.
So, and carry more shit than you can, and all the little birds fuel too. But yeah, so did you guys know each other when you were in 1st Battalion? Did you guys know each other, Mike?
Yeah, we met at BNOC. We met at BNOC.
BNOC, yeah.
And it was like right after my crash. So we kind of linked up with TF, you know, hatred together.
Yeah, we were like going through like the introductions, you know, as you go through the whole class or whatever. And was like, oh, I'm Logan, 160th guy. And everyone's like, boo,
Like, all right,
and
fuck
then,
you guys.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I like to play golf. And then I got to him, he was back on the, back behind me. He's like, oh, I'm Mike. Just so you know, I sprained my ankle. I can't do the PT test tomorrow. The SEL was like, you can't come here with a profile. What are you doing? He's like, well, I crashed my helicopter a couple weeks ago and broke my ankle. The guy was like, you crashed in Afghanistan? He's like, yeah. And they're like, okay, well, we'll figure it out. But he was like, I play golf too. And I was like, all right, we're gonna play golf together and hang out. And that's what we did.
And you guys just formed up and hated everybody else in the big army. Was that
pretty much
the plan?
Yeah.
Judged everybody. No.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's the professional military education. You find some other soft dude and you guys Wonder Twins activate and fuck everybody.
Yeah, I was in the class before them, and same thing. It was me and a couple of regiment dudes just kind of bonded together because everyone looks at you like you're a cunt and you're an asshole. Yeah. And so it's just kind of all right, well, fuck you guys.
And the SGLs single you out too. I had to get, I think 3 haircuts in one day because it wasn't good enough. They were on your ass for hair. It was, yeah.
They called me in to be the student first sergeant. They're like, hey, we want you to be the student first sergeant. I was like, no. And they were like, the dude closed the door. He's like, why not? I was like, hey man, this is the first time since I joined the Army I'm going to be anywhere for 90 days. I was like, I'm just kind of here to chill. This is my break. After I leave here, I got to go back to what I'm doing. So I'm not going to be your student first sergeant. He was like, well, don't ever pass up an opportunity to better yourself. I'm like, I'm not.
I'm not here to better myself, just so you know.
I'm here to drink, let my hair down, potentially have an affair, and then get remarried afterwards.
I'm here because I'm made to be here.
Didn't we just have this conversation about being drunk in a school the whole time?
Yeah, that was the school.
Yeah.
That was it. I was drunk every day.
Yeah.
For 90 days straight.
Oh yeah,
and
that's right. We're
awesome.
talking about PTing when you're drunk.
Hammered.
Yeah.
And still doing better than everybody else.
Yeah, those are the good old days.
Yeah, not anymore. I can't even fucking run.
Yeah. So you guys did your time in the regiment, and then you guys went to another organization, and you guys started working together in that organization?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
And are you guys both from the East Coast? Where are you from?
Yeah, I'm from South Carolina.
Did we have this conversation? Have we had this conversation before?
Maybe not.
We're part of South Carolina.
Greenville.
Okay. What do you call it? G Vegas now? Or?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I went to school in Camden, and right outside of Columbia, there's a military school there. So there was a lot of friends from Greenville, Spartanburg.
Yeah.
Travelers Rest. Fun fact.
Here we go.
Fun fact. You know the people from Travelers Rest, right? All those gypsies, man. There's gypsies in South Carolina. For real. For real.
Okay.
Yeah. There was even a TV show on it. I think it's probably still on, whatever that show, whatever that channel that had the...
Oh, TLC?
TLC, the John and Kate person.
Yes, I watched that show.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's Travelers Rest.
Traveling Gypsies, I think what it was called.
Yeah, they live in right where he's from, kind of near there.
That.
Yeah. Travelers Rest is a big gypsy place.
It's because they're beneath you.
Yeah.
For sure.
So you couldn't see, if they were standing in front of you, you couldn't see them.
Well, did you know Matt Murphy? Do you know him? Mm-mm. He was a 2nd Battalion guy, A2 guy, but he's from there. And anyways, sorry, man, rabbit hole of the gypsies in South Carolina. But how about you, Logan? Where are you from?
Colorado.
What part of Colorado?
Boulder.
Okay.
Yep, born in Boulder. Yep.
I lived in Littleton for a little bit after I got out.
Yeah.
Is Boulder, Colorado, super hippie and granola?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's Boulder and Berkeley is where all of the hippie stuff started. Yeah.
Where's Colorado University? Is that Boulder?
It's in Boulder. Mm-hmm.
That's the one where Deion Sanders is the head coach.
They got one in Denver too, right?
I think they have a campus in Denver, but the main one is in Boulder.
But the Buffaloes are the one in Boulder. Yeah. So you guys joined the Army, and then you guys were in another organization together, and you met up, and then when did you have your accident, or what can you kind of just talk us through what happened there?
Yeah, sure. So
just to jump in.
So I was basically found my way into becoming a freefall instructor for the Army. So I was jumping to learn how to teach other guys how to jump. And I was out at a training event in Eloy, Arizona. And the last day of the training week that we had there, we had like 10 jumps a day, I think,
10 jumps
something like
a
that.
day, yeah.
Mike was actually there.
You were there?
Yeah. Yep. First jump of the last day on Friday, came out, perfect, good, good jump, came into land. So we were doing another one of our buddies that was there, like we were doing like relative canopy work. So we were kind of like, he was leading and I was kind of following behind him, like on his low right. And as we came into the pattern, I was like, okay, I'm going to break off from him, get separation so I was doing like a little bit more aggressive landings, progressively through that week. I was getting a little bit more. So I was kind of like building speed into the landing. So the way I would do that is like on a freefall rig, you have front risers, rear risers, and brakes. So if you pull the front risers, it like changes the angle of attack and like dives you toward the ground. So as we came in like on downwind, I separated a little bit from him, turned onto base, and in that time we got a little bit lower than I was anticipating. So I was making sure that when I did my turn, I wasn't going to put my canopy in his feet. So when I was clear from him, I didn't check my altitude or I didn't recognize it, and I did a pretty hard front riser turn to start my
base leg.
Final leg. Yeah, we were on base turning to final. Yeah. Turned final and was like, oh shit, like I'm way too high or way too low. So I was like, okay, in the training they teach you to like pop your brakes to like come out of like something freaky like that. So I went to pop my brakes, but I didn't let go of my front risers.
Oh, so it just dumped everything and then accelerated. So I
made a shitty situation worse by increasing my fall rate and just plowed into the ground at, I don't know what, 60 miles an hour.
Yeah. Holy shit! Were you knocked out when it happened?
So no, I didn't lose consciousness at all. As soon as I hit the ground, I'm tumbling, and I instantly knew I broke my back. So
you knew right then.
Oh yeah, instantly.
Yeah, where were you when this happened?
So I was on I was turning downwind to base, right? Okay. So Will was on the other side of the DZ. And Logan had just turned in, and I knew something was funky with him because like he was normally the better canopy pilot of our three generally. And I knew that I was in the correct place for my, where I wanted to land in the pattern. And I was like, man, he looks lower than I think he should be. And he was, because when I turned on final, he was already in the dirt below me. And I was like, well, that sucks, So we got on the ground and hustled back to him.
And was the DZSO or the medics already there by the time you got there?
Yeah, so we had a medic and a DZSO there. So it was three of us jumping with a medic and a DZSO. But I don't know how soon they got to me, but it felt like it was pretty quick.
It was quick.
Yeah. Did they take you out in a truck or the life flight you or something?
So they eventually got me into an ambulance and then took me, because we're on an airfield, so they took me over to somewhere better for the life flight to land and put me in that, and I took
And so you were conscious the whole time?
Yeah. Yep.
Holy shit. Did they give you like fentanyl or anything?
Yeah, so like the fentanyl lollipops?
Yeah.
So, how they're always like, oh, it's going to knock you on your ass and blah, blah, blah. Like, I was literally sucking on this thing being like, when is it going to start working? Like, I think it was because my mouth was too dry.
Yeah.
But I didn't get any like real pain relief until they push like an IV. I assume it was
morphine.
fentanyl.
Yeah, we pushed morphine on the ground.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
But so I took a nice little helicopter ride to Phoenix.
Yeah. So when you're in the hospital, like what was going through your mind when they told you what happened? Like when the doctor gave you your diagnosis, like what was that like?
Well, so when I got there, like they had drugged me up pretty good. So they're like, hey, like, do you want to call your wife? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, I don't need to call her. I'll be fine. They're like, no, you need to call your wife. So I called her and I was like, I knew I was going into surgery, but I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to have a surgery. Like, it's not, it's no big deal. And like, they handed the phone off to like the surgeon's like assistant. And she was like, you need to get on a plane like immediately and get here. So I was kind of like loopy. Like I knew I broke my back. I knew I had a spinal cord injury. I knew I was going into surgery, but like nothing. Like at that point, like once I got into surgery, I was in a medically induced coma for like 13 days.
Yeah.
So once I woke up from that, that's when it was like, hey, you actually really fucked yourself up pretty good. So I was like, oh shit, okay.
How long ago did this happen? I mean,
November of 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was, what, 7 years ago?
Yeah, almost 7 years ago.
And you had to go out and
It's
keep jumping
crazy.
after that, right?
Yeah. Had to might be a strong word.
He was on the next pass. He couldn't
had to might be a strong word, but you know,
You got to get your jumps
you
in.
had to finish. Yeah. We didn't jump anymore that trip, but like we had a trip a couple weeks later.
Yeah.
You know, that was specifically about jumping. But I tell you, when we got to the hospital, because we kind of chased him there, right? And the surgeon, we like rushed into the room, and the surgeon's like, "Who are you guys?" And like we're like brothers, soldiers, leader, you know, like insert whatever you want to hear to get me in this room.
Yeah.
And we kind of talked it out. He was obviously out of it. And then, you know, he came out. He's like, hey, so did you call your work or his wife, or like what's being handled on his behalf on the back end? And we're like, we've already executed all that, right? Mama's on the way. So what can I tell her? You know what I mean? Like, what's my best case to give the wife? And he said, if your buddy never walks again, it'll be the best case scenario. And I was like, I don't know what that means. You know, and the first time ever in my life where like I literally kind of started, you know, getting that tunnel vision from words spoken to me. Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that sucks.
So who ended up telling your wife when she got there? Was that you guys?
Yeah, I picked her up from the airport.
Holy shit. How did she take
So
that?
they called back to our ops office, and the opso who was on duty that day called my wife.
Okay.
Yeah. And she like doesn't get like phone calls like that often. So she, like he called, I think he had to call a couple times, and she eventually picked up and was like, what's up? And like, hey, so Logan's been in an accident. Like, and she was like, whoa. So they got her on a plane. I mean, immediately. I mean, I was still in surgery when she got there.
Dude. So you wake up from the medically induced coma, did it feel like, I always wonder this, like when you go into a coma, did it feel like you just went to sleep, like, or did you know that you'd been out for a while?
So I knew that I had been out for a while because I didn't know how long, but I knew because they would kind of bring me out of it a little bit because, you know, I was intubated, and they would like kind of pull me out to like see if I could breathe on my own, if I couldn't. So they'd kind of bring me out a little bit, and I would wake up enough to know that I was in the hospital. You know, I couldn't talk, but I was like kind of talking with my hands and stuff like that. I was actually trying to pull out my tube.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this sucks being in here, and I wanted it out really bad. So they actually wound up having to restrain me, because anytime I would like wake up, I would instantly go to pull it, and they knew that. So they strapped me down. I actually tricked them once, because they were like, my sister who flew there almost immediately as well. She was like, hey, can we like unstrap his arms and like move him around so his like shoulders don't get locked up or whatever? And they're like, well, we're a little worried that he might try and pull that tube out again. And she's like, do you promise you won't do that? And I'm like, I nod. I'm like, yeah, I promise. As soon as they undid my restraint, I was like, yeah. And they had to like hold me down, and they're like, see, that's why we're not gonna let him do it.
I can't imagine having that thing down your throat. Like,
you're a man.
Because I'd wake up enough to like I could feel it, and like once I aspirated, so I barfed, and it like went into my lungs. So I actually had to stay for longer in that coma because I got pneumonia.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, we can't like pull him out. Like he kind of essentially needs the breathing tube at this point, so he can recover from that. But
holy shit, yeah. I heard during COVID, like what killed people was intubating them, and then they couldn't breathe on their own after the fact. We're talking like the comorbidity, you know, the older people, overweight people. But so this whole time you just went back to the
yeah. I mean, we stuck it out for like a day or two, right? But unfortunately we had other stuff to get onto, right? And we had a support system in place already with his, you know, wife and family, and Gigi came to stay with the kids, right? She flew.
Yep. So the unit flew my wife out with my boss. Right? Aaron came in that, right? Yeah. Flew her out with my boss. My sister, one of my sisters got on a plane immediately, flew down there. And so my wife and my sister were there so I was in the hospital for 9 weeks. I think it was 9 weeks, 8 or 9 weeks. So they were there the whole time, and they were well taken care of. They were on orders, like put in a hotel, like they were very well taken care of. We flew my mother-in-law out to watch the kids. And then my wife's aunt came out to like be with her.
Yeah.
Like there was a lot of support for me, but like she came out to like support my wife.
Right. Right.
And Joel's family lives out there, right? So they had him and all his family over for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, because you were there. How long were you going through these medical things out in Arizona?
So that was November 18th. I always mess this up. 16th or 18th was my accident. I think it was 18th. And I got flown out of there just January 2nd, I think. Something
so you
like
were
that.
there.
So I was there over Thanksgiving,
and
Christmas. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. How did your kids take that?
Sorry, babe.
They didn't know a lot, so they were fairly young.
Okay.
They just knew I was in an accident and in the hospital, and it wasn't great, but they kind of had fun with Gigi and did their thing. But yeah. So
this is something I've always kind of wondered is when they told you that you broke your back and that you're not going to be able to walk anymore. And clearly that has implications of being in the Army, right? Mm-hmm. Was that a hard thing to accept, that you weren't going to be a soldier anymore? Or because I think everybody's felt this way at one point or another, and I'm not trying to make light of this, but like, have you ever had, like, when you were in where you need an excuse to not be in anymore? Mm-hmm. Like, man, if I could just like
close my leg in the ramp,
wing me right here on the elbow. You know what I mean? Like, and then you have a reason to not do this anymore. Mm-hmm. Was it a little bit of peace like that, or was it? Or was it
a little bit of both? At that point in my career, I'd been literally going after it for 15 years at that point. Coming and going. I spent 5 years deployed. Like, I was tired. Yeah. I was worn out. So, I miss it, but like I was kind of like, this might be okay. Like if I survive, like, cause there was definite, like, it wasn't just that I broke my back. There was other stuff that we can get into that like had a long road ahead of me for like even getting out of the hospital. So that really, I was like kind of in survival mode a little bit, but like I knew my career was over. I knew I was going to get medically boarded and stuff. So, but it wasn't really like, oh, I'm not going to be a soldier anymore. Yeah.
Did that ever come where you were like, there was the best way I can describe it is like when you have like a grandparent, right, that is very elderly and sick, mm-hmm. when they finally pass away, you kind of like, yeah, like it sucks, but I'm there. It's better, right? When you have something like this was like on Wednesday, everything was great, and then on Thursday, life, 180 the other mm-hmm. way. Was there ever a point where you kind of were like, man, like, all is lost, like there's nothing, like this is who I am and now I've got to figure out how I'm going to be somebody else? Or
yeah, a little bit. Yeah, there's a little bit of that. But I mean, I kind of accepted it pretty quickly and was like, okay, well, now my new mission is walking again. Yeah. So.
And they tell you right when you woke up after your coma, is that kind of when it like you got the facts and the news, like, hey, this is
Yeah, I don't know exactly how close it was from like me waking up, because I was like, they had to drug me like a fucking horse. Like so much to the point, like I think it was like the third or fourth night on or whatever, the attending, like a new attending doctor rotated into the ICU, and she was looking at my chart and she's like, oh my God, stop. Like you're going to kill this guy. And they're like, no. Like you don't understand. His hands are restrained. Like we have to put a lot of drugs in this guy to keep him out. So when I was like officially woken up, man, I was hallucinating. I thought the thing where the curtain goes on, track. Like the rail, the track that it goes on. I thought that was the ceiling above me had collapsed and they were broken pipes and it was dripping like pee on me. So I'm like, this is unsaid. Like, you got fucking pee dripping on me. Like, I'm going to sue you guys. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, so no, there was no conversations of that. So I assume it was probably a couple of days later when I actually like talked to the doctor. And yeah, like I knew I broke my back. I knew that I couldn't move my legs, but I was like, okay, I'll probably get back to walking. And the surgeon was like, probably not. So I got back a lot more than he thought I would.
Yeah.
Ability wise and stuff. So
do you think that having the background that you came from and doing the things you did in the organizations you were a part of played into that mentality of like, I'm not going to fucking quit? Like,
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I cause you see, it's weird that I've seen other people that go through similar experience, maybe like maybe somebody jumps in a pool and they break their neck or whatever. And then you hear about it all the time. Like some people just give up, like completely give up. And then they typically like die. Like, and then I see some people that like, that dude probably should have died. And like, they don't quit and they achieve, like, remember that, the Jenny, this Australian skier.
Yeah,
Adrenogen. Her brother lost a leg when he was like 9.
Yeah.
And dudes ends up being like world champion one-legged skier.
Yeah.
Like I'm fucking that up, but like whatever that's called. Yeah,
probably Paralympian.
Yeah, Paralympian. That.
Maybe. I don't know. That doesn't sound right.
I mean, with your big words, but the whole time we were like just blown away at that guy's story of how like his parents refused to let him quit. Yeah. And then dude just starts killing it as a world-class Paralympian. Did he won like something else? He was like a
I think between him and Jen, they accomplished quite a bit.
Yeah, it's just interesting to see like the power of your brain can like change outcomes.
Yeah, right. Well, and having such a good like support network, like right after my injury, and like my sister was like big in that, like your mindset will do a lot for you, Yeah. So, I feel like your mindset based around things like that play a huge role. Yeah. You can accept it and let it ruin you. You can accept it and be like, move on, whatever. Like it's a choice. Like I really feel like it's a choice, and like I kind of went down like a depressive thing when I got home and whatever. And, one day I was like, fuck man, like stop being depressed, just snap yourself out of it. Like, I had like a bottle of Zoloft in my hand. I was sitting on the bed like, oh, like this isn't you. Like you don't need to take this shit, So I tucked it in the trash can and changed my perspective on it. Yeah. And
how long after was that? Was it like a while after?
That was probably 6 months.
You'd come home
maybe
from
6 months
from their SCI unit, right?
Yeah. So I was at home. Yeah. Probably 6 months. So I left there. So I had 3 surgeries in the ICU. One of which they didn't think I was going to survive because of infection, but I did. And
fuck you guys.
Fuck you. Like, literally the surgeon's like, so this is like, long story short, when I hit the ground, I turned my L2 vertebrae, it's called a burst fracture. I turned it into like 18 different pieces. So it was like a little frag grenade. Yeah. Was like my L2. One of those little pieces like pushed into my aorta. So like after I woke up and like coherent or whatever, I was like, hey, like I kind of want to see what I did to my back. So they brought in like the x-rays and like showing me all the stuff. And they're like, this little guy, like this little bone right here pushing into your aorta, like had that gone much further, like you would have died. Like on the drop zone, like they call it like a widow maker, that you blow your aorta, you're done. But some of those pieces put holes in my dural sac. So like the kind of the same sac that your brain is, it goes all the way down your spinal cord too. And that keeps in the cerebral spinal fluid. So I had a bunch of holes in those. So when the first surgery, they opened me up, they did the fusion, right? So they stabilized my spine with, the rods and drilled them into the vertebrae. And in that they were like, oh shit, like this guy really messed up his dural sac. So the second surgery, they waited to see if like they would, like the holes would kind of close up, but they weren't. So they had to go in and like cut off my like part of my lat muscle and weave it in my spine to like plug the hole. And they were like, this is a really high likelihood of infection. And that would be very bad. And I was like, great. Like, is there anything can we not do this? Or like, if you want to lay horizontally for the rest of your life, I was like, let's do the surgery.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I had another surgery where they took the L2 out and put in, I forgot the name of it, but the surgery is called a corpectomy. Like they took the bone out, ground it up, put a cage in, and then like put the bone around in it. So like it fused the spine.
Okay.
So once all that was like, I was out of the clear, then I moved back to Virginia. They put me on a little Learjet and flew me into Richmond. And then I stayed in the Richmond VA spinal cord department for 5 months. Yeah, something like that.
Were you still, how does that work when you're active duty? Were you still active duty receiving a paycheck?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
We did MLC for him.
Oh, really?
And put in his master sergeant packet when he was in the hospital.
Nice.
They did.
Yeah.
Bedside.
Yeah.
He's sharing some insider knowledge there.
Yeah.
I actually got picked up for E8 while I was in the hospital.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I had already been picked up, but I needed to complete MLC. But they're like, oh, we don't know if this guy's going to make it or not. Like, or like, like if he'll come back to work, like, let's do this for him. So it's, I lucked out there.
So how does that work with the Army? Like when you have something like that, do they say, I mean, you went to the med board, I'm sure, like once you probably got stabilized and they gave you a P3 profile and then you go to a med board.
Yep.
And I'm familiar because I did a med board too. I had 24 years, but I went the med board route. And then, and that's kind of nice because you find out what your rating is like right there. I mean, within a couple months. And then, What's interesting though is I've known people that are amputees that went through a med board and they didn't get 100%.
Yeah.
Can you believe? I mean, like you're just missing an arm and he got
crazy.
90%.
Yep.
Like, and now he what do they call it? Not protest, but this
appealed.
He didn't appeal. He just accepted it and then did another claim, and then he got 100%. But
like, hey guys, I'm still missing my arm. Hasn't grown back yet. What do you think?
But then you see people that like and you don't ever know what people are going through. So, but
I know what a lot of people who I was in the Army with are going through.
Yeah, but
a lot of them are fucking liars.
Yeah, there's a lot of 100% out there. It's like. Yeah, I don't know. But man, you were in an S2 shop your whole career.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Air Force.
Yeah. Fucking Air Force.
But I mean, like we knew I'd be 100% quickly. I mean, like I met all the requirements for, my med board was like a formality.
Yeah.
Really. Like it was, and we delayed it too. So like when I got out of the VA, because I was actually getting returns, like feeling wise, I could start moving my legs a little bit. What the therapy that the VA could offer me wasn't good enough for what I needed. So I went to an outpatient clinic and did outpatient physical therapy for like 2 years, like 4 days a week, 2 hours at a pop, actually more sometimes. And like just did that for like 2 years. And like my med shop and my command was like, hey, like, don't worry about anything military. Just do your PT. We got everything else under control. I was, they were paying my mileage to go there, like all this stuff. And they're like, when you're ready to do your med board, let us know and we'll start the process. So like, they're like, we don't want you to still be doing physical therapy and doing a med board because we don't know what that looks like on the other side.
Yeah. And it could go really quick and then you're out. Like there's no
right, yeah, and they were worried about like my PT funding essentially getting cut off because the VA wouldn't pay for it, whereas like active duty would.
Yeah, were you able to get to like that sanctuary mark to retire like a full military retirement, or did you just do
like 20 years?
Yeah,
no.
What is it? I think you got to get to 18 to get sanctuary. Is that what it is?
I don't know. I've never heard of that.
Yeah. They have this weird thing where like. The guard guys do it all the time.
I think I've heard of it, but I don't know. That didn't play into mine.
Yeah, they have like if you do 18 years of active federal service, there is some law that says you cannot be
chaptered
out or kicked out.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And so like you'll see it all the time in the Guard. Like these guys will do like, they did like 10 years active duty. They go in the Guard for like another 10, 15 years. And then that time equals like 18 years. And then they claim sanctuary. I always think of like The Office when Michael claims bankruptcy. Because, he's like, I claim bankruptcy. But they claim sanctuary. And then they like send them to Fort Rucker. This is pilots. They'll send them to Fort Rucker for active duty for 2 years. And then these cats retire at 20 years. Yeah. There's always like 2 or 3 guys at Rucker that are like, and you can see them from a mile away because they've like never deployed or anything. And but they're teaching. And then you start talking to the guy and they're like, oh yeah, I did, 18 years. And then you're able to basically stay in the Guard, but go on active duty orders for 2 years so they can retire. It's kind of fucked up, but.
So that didn't play into mine.
Okay.
So, I mean, they did say or offer a program called COAD, continuation on active duty. Okay. To where like, if you would med board or like you got messed up somehow and you could like the command would like, like you can still serve a purpose. Like they could have kept me on active duty.
Yeah. That was
and
like,
just stuck me in the, maintenance shop or something like that. Just, doing paperwork stuff. Yeah. But I chose not to.
Matt Murphy did that. He had diabetes and he was able to stay on it, even though he was totally not deployable. And you don't get that in any other organizations. Like if you have something that kicks you out of the Army, you're done. Yeah. But in these communities, typically they take care of people.
And they're like, if you want to stay, we will find something for you to do. And I was like, nah, like I was at that point, like I was kind of ready to like move on next chapter of life, kind of do that, but
and to not could have the grind daily and watching everybody else go off and do the thing while you're just kind of hanging back. Like there's no fun in that.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been the same. No.
And you guys stayed friends the whole time.
Yeah.
Like how did that affect friendship? Because I know like when you get out of the military, like the people that you're like, this is my best friend and we're gonna be bros for life, and then like 6 months later you haven't heard from them or anything. Did that, I mean, it sounds like that didn't happen here. I mean,
no, not with us for sure. Yeah. I'm not in like close contact with a lot of guys, but I mean he can probably tell you more about it, but like I just like disappeared. You know what I mean? Like I was there one day and like people didn't see me for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
I mean, like I rolled into the hangar, after, when I was kind of doing therapy, like I'd kind of, I'd pop in and say hi and like kind of fart around the building and stuff. But like, they're like, oh shit, you did live, and I recognize like half the people, but there's a few people that I stay in touch with and hang out with for sure.
Yeah. I always, so what did you, so you got out, you med boarded out and did you start working or are you just working on yourself or what's life been like post Army? Like you get out.
So I'm retired, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm 40 and haven't worked in 7 years.
Yeah.
Like, so because of what I was doing, where I was doing it, my retirement is I actually make more in my retirement than I did like on active duty.
Yeah.
So I don't need to work. So I spent, at that point, that was about 18 years, deployed, gone, in our unit. I mean, it's not abnormal to be gone 6 to 8 months a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I'd been doing that for years and years and years. And my wife actually like married me thinking I was getting out of the Army. And I was like, hey, like just kidding. JK. I'm going to go to the 160th. And she's like, what's that? And I was like, special operations. She's like, what the fuck? So I felt like I kind of owed it to them to like kind of give my time back. And like, so.
Were you, sidebar, you weren't in 225, were you?
I was.
That's where I fucking know you from, because I was in 225.
Okay.
Yeah, you were in A Company.
I was in A Co.
Yeah, I was in B Company.
No fucking way.
Yeah. So, listen, Blackhawk people are talking now.
Yeah, I can tell. There's semen all over the microphone.
Wait, so you'll remember this. So do you remember, so you did that deployment in 2006, 2007, the 15-month one? Yeah. All right. Remember I was telling you about the guy that made the rap song about the other guy? Remember that?
Yes.
And he got in so much trouble and got busted from
Will
an
Smith
E5.
is a biggity bitch. He said he's the biggest bitch that you'll ever meet. Oh, yeah. So I worked with those guys.
Yeah. Because that's where I was like, man, I know Brokaw, Logan Brokaw. Yeah, because I remember, because were you part of, did you go to Telefar or were you in Spike?
I was a Spiker.
Yeah. Because you were ACDC back then.
Yeah. So the first rotation of ACO that went up to Kirkuk.
It wasn't.
I went there.
Charlie Company was in there. Yeah.
I was in the first like 2-month rotation that went up to Kirkuk, and then spent most of my time at Spiker.
Okay. Yeah, because I was in B Company because B Company was all together in Spiker, and that's
it's a tiny world,
Tiny
right?
world, man.
Tiny world.
Which I always tell people.
I recognized your name.
Yeah, I was kind of a big deal in 2005. No, I'm just kidding. That deployment was, people were like, "Oh man, you must have saw some shit in the 160th." I was like, ish.
We did a good job at like trying to minimize the shit.
Yeah, that deployment was fucking awesome. Like, is the best way I can describe it. It was Wild West. There was no rules. It was like once we were gone and doing our thing, we were just, and we had I felt like to some extent, we had a command team that was really aggressive and that were all about us fucking shit up, within limits.
Within the Geneva Convention.
Yeah.
Of course.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that was, cause I remember, if I remember right, I remember, the reason I remember your name is because I was using a porta potty in Balad and right by the FARP, and stenciled inside the porta potty is, I might screw this up, but I think it was like Brokaw sucks dick or something. Like,
no,
what was it?
I can't believe I'm going to tell this story. I'm like,
I think you need to
a national audience. It was Brokaw likes little boys.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
Yes. So I don't even really know how it started, but I think it started when we rotated into Kuwait.
Yeah.
To do, I do like your like 2 weeks in Kuwait and like mod the aircraft and fucking get them ready to fly into whatever. My buddy Noakes, his name is Noakes, David Noakes. He like wrote it somewhere as like a joke, and it just caught on, and he wrote that shit everywhere.
Well, then Nate Grimes, did you know Grimes in Bravo Company?
Yep.
Nate would always tag our little Nighthawk symbol everywhere. Yep. Mm-hmm. And then he started, I think it was him and Steve Fung started writing that everywhere. Everywhere we would go, they would
everywhere. Every FARP
it.
in Iraq had it. Most of the places in Kuwait, Qatar, like everywhere we went. Like I would literally, I went on not mid-tour leave, but like one of those passes, where you go to like Kuwait or Qatar or whatever. Yeah. And I just happened to meet some random dude, and we're chatting. He's like, Brokaw. He's like, I saw your name in a porta shitter. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding
Dude, I was
me?
in Camp Virginia.
Everywhere.
And on the way home, and I was like one of the last guys to leave, because we ripped back to the States in like, sections or whatever. Mm-hmm. And like B Company was the last, like our platoon and B Company was like the last people to leave. And I remember I'm sitting, I go to go in the porta shitter in Camp Virginia, which we'd never been there before. Like we came in through Udari, whatever that fucking place was called. IUD. That was the Air Force place, but it was Udari Army Air Force Field, Camp Buring. It was the name of that place. Yep. We came in through there, but we had not went to Virginia. And Virginia is where you go like outbound.
Yep.
And I remember I got close to porta shit. There were hard stand shitters there, but like the trailer kind that, the kind that we had in everywhere. And it was written in the hard stand one. Yep. And I was like, man, these guys are fucking good. Like they're everywhere. All over the place.
Remember like the Kilroy was here thing, whatever? Yeah. It was like that. Yeah. It was just everywhere.
Yeah. There was that. Remember I was telling you about the real super hot chick that was a fueler? Do you remember I was telling you about this?
No, I don't. But could you tell me?
unless she's married to somebody you still know, but remember that Fueler and E company? That was, there was a guy that went to D1 from A or C company. I don't want to say his name because he might still be around. But anyways, there's that blonde chick that was in E company, and she was like the dumbest person on the face of the planet. Like,
I don't remember her.
Do you remember? I'll tell you after this, and you'll remember the guy I'm talking about, because he eventually went to D1. Or he went to F1 and then went to D1 eventually. But anyways, so all right, sorry to rabbit hole this thing, because I'm like, man,
let me just tell one more story about that.
Yeah.
So you remember our flight line? How it was like on a taxiway, and it was like super long, and in between like the cab parking and our parking was the FARP.
Yeah.
I came back from a mission one day, and we'd like fly down the line and like turn into parking. He went out there with a pressure washer, and for like 3 hours pressure washed that in the size of the, like in like bold font
like
on the taxiway,
midfield.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brokaw likes those boys. I was like, and he did such a good job, because I was like, dude, I know it's you doing it. He's like, it's not me, bro. I never caught him. I saw him writing something one time. He's like, oh, it's not me. Like, I knew it was him. Like, it was a joke. Like, everyone knew it was him doing it, but he hit it well. I was like,
that's like the Zeb loves the cock. You ever seen that? You ever seen that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay. So you're familiar. It's just like, it's etched in when they poured the new pads in, what was that big base in fucking Afghanistan? Bagram. Yeah. When they poured the new pads in Bagram, somebody had carved it into the wet cement like ZLC. And so it's most likely still there, but you go to a fucking bar in Germany, it's in the bathroom. Zeb loves the cock. You know what I mean? It's fucking everywhere. And people are like, yeah, I've seen that. Like, have no idea. Never were in the unit or anything. And it's just like, yeah, no, I've seen that. Like, yeah, I know the guy, and it's a true story.
I hung out with some guys a few weeks ago that knew Lake Wagzafag. Right?
I was going to say, like, they don't know about Lake Wagzafag? Like,
dude, so you remember when the MARSOC guys used to put those dick cards on people? Yeah. So when I was in 19th group and I went down to Rhode Island to do some training with those guys, there was a MARSOC dude there, and we were talking. I was like, hey, man, like, he's like, I told him where I came from, whatever. And we were just talking bullshit. And I was like, did you ever fuck with a deck of cards that had dicks all over it? And he's like, he kind of like got bright eyed and kind of like faded back. He's like, yeah, we were the guys that started that. And I was like, you motherfucker. They would just take the playing cards, with naked dudes on them, just dicks everywhere. And they put Velcro on them, and they would put them on crew chiefs or the medics gear on their way out to go hit a target. And so, you get back to base and some dude's got a dick on his arm. And so we started putting them back on them when they were going out. I got one on the back of the ground force commander's helmet. He had a little playing card with a dick on the back of his head while they were going out running through buildings.
Greatly homoerotic cards, not just a dick card.
Yeah, no, it's a straight up
it's
naked
like oiled up dudes, right?
Yeah, like posing and stuff.
Yeah, super hot.
Yeah.
Super hot.
Oh my God. Yeah, that part of the Army I kind of miss.
Yeah.
The oiled up dudes part.
Yeah, the oiled up dudes.
the fuckery and like the joking around and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I do miss that.
Yeah.
But like the day-to-day grind of like the military and like doing,
I mean, I was telling Tyler, like, I still talk to dudes in the unit and like
oiled up dudes, and they'll tell me like their problems of like at work or like what's the current thing going on. And when they start talking, my brain starts to just shut down because I'm so not there anymore. Like I'm just like, and I think with you just retiring, it's kind of cool to see it in real time, because like we should have another episode like a year from now and to kind of like, this was you here, and this is 1 year later. And I think a lot of people, at least for me, is like, I left and kind of went to the job that Tyler works at now, which is kind of paramilitary. I mean, it's like weak sauce, but it still has Army, like an Army flavor to it. Except with beards and like... And 80-year-olds. It's like a geriatric. It's like a retirement home for the Army.
Yeah. But it's like... it was a good transition job for me. But it wasn't until like a couple years of doing that I was like, I kind of just woke up and I was like, oh yeah, like I don't really want to do this shit anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And anyways, I don't know if you've gotten to that point. Are you?
Yeah. So I'm working for the organization as a contractor.
Yeah.
And I took the same stance you are, right? Like I'm not going to do this forever. I've never made that a clear to anybody, right? But I think I need to physically like bring my heartstrings out of work and out of the brotherhood and like slowly, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm going to use this next 3 to 5 years to kind of like slowly stop giving a fuck and just like, you know, trying to help people see the issues that they've had in this organization and the Army for years that never get solved.
Yeah.
And it's not going to get solved. So like, hey man, move on and don't worry about that.
Yeah.
40 years later, it's still an issue.
Yeah, they've been climbing that hill for a while now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did any of that stuff happen to you when, you know, let's say like a couple years post accident, was there any struggling in like finding purpose and
yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm.
Because I think that's a lot what we've talked about often is us, even though I wouldn't say that there's purpose in the place that we used to work at.
No, it's the opposite of purpose.
Yeah, it's for me, it's been kind of seeing behind the military industrial complex, like seeing what the real motivation is, kind of makes you sick a little bit. But how was that? And this is, I guess, for both of you is, you know, have you, you know, how did you deal with that? And that might be a good segue to get into this. But how did you deal with that? Are you still dealing with it?
You know, one thing that I didn't get was, you know, the glide slope out.
Yeah.
You know, I was getting after it. You know what I mean? Like I was in a part of the organization that was a little bit slower, and there was some like, you know, light at the end of the tunnel to kind of get back into it and like do some stuff. And then it was gone.
Yeah.
You know, like I broke my back and that was gone. So I like literally got ripped out of it. So, I mean, I definitely struggled with that a little bit. But like kind of like at that point, like I was in it for like the job and like the dudes and like the fun of it. But like my heart, like my service heart was like kind of out because like you said, you kind of start seeing peeking behind the veil a little bit and like kind of seeing, oh wait, what do you mean? They knew we weren't going to win in Afghanistan in like 2005. Then why the fuck was I there in 2009? You know what I mean? Like, so like I was kind of over that part of it. So I didn't like, that wasn't a thing for me, but like, yeah, the sense of purpose of like going into work every day and doing something was, there was definitely a transition there. Honestly, I'm still going through it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think that's pretty common. I mean, I think we both kind of still struggle with that.
Mm-hmm.
And have you had any of that since you've been on terminal leave? I mean, probably not, right? I mean, it's
yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah. It takes some time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because right now, like the novelty of not being a soldier anymore is like, oh, I can actually fucking plan vacations and like it's like cool and new.
But when that novelty wears off is when you're like, whoa, wait, hold on. I'm like,
yeah, I always liken it to like you're like, all right, guys, we're gonna take the hill, and like you turn around and then like everybody's not there anymore, and you're the only one there, and you're like, oh shit, okay, well, now I gotta do this. But I mean, that's kind of like part of the reason why we always have, I don't say we always have episodes like this, but there's a lot of people that listen to this that like just don't know which way is up, you know, like they're just trying to figure out like, what do I do? Yeah. And I don't know that ever goes away. Like I still kind of am like, what am I supposed to be doing?
It slows down a little bit.
Yeah.
Like the psychosis almost of the whole thing where you're like, oh fuck, and you trying all this stuff back to back to back real fast, trying to find like kind of the quick fix for what ails you, and then you realize like there ain't no quick fix.
Yeah.
It took 15, it took 18 years, it took 20 fucking years to get to where you were, and now you have, you know, you're not going to figure out what the next step is in 6 months. So it's like it's a really long road. And I think Mike was there, he had like a peek into all my bullshit when I was going through it. So it was kind of like I assume you watched most of that shit in real time. So that could have been maybe some warning flags.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But you did the Yomp two, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you do
two years ago?
The
when Keith was there.
okay.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah. Was that 2 years ago?
Yeah, it was last year.
Last year, right? Last summer,
Yeah,
right?
2 yomps ago.
2 yomps ago.
2
yeah,
yomps
18
ago.
months. Something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think things like that have been helpful
For me.
for you,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Anytime, because I've seen, Mike and I joke, I've seen him more in the last 2 years since I moved to Florida than I did when we were in the Army together.
Oh yeah, because you guys set the thing up out in that thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then from that on, it's like every 2 or 3 months, I think we're like,
Yeah.
Randomly in each
Yeah,
other's
I mean,
lives.
it's the same thing for us. Like we've seen each other more, especially since your schedule has slowed down a lot. Like way more.
Yeah, I mean, we live less than 5 miles from each other and have for 10 years.
But there was
now.
a period of time like we didn't see each other for like a year or two. Like
yeah.
we'd like high five in the hallway. Like I'd be coming, he'd be going, like whatever. And I mean, we've known each other for a better part of 13 years at this point, something like that.
15.
And
yeah, it was 2010.
15, is that,
That's right.
Is that when we
It's
went to
2010.
When Katie came into our lives.
Yeah, when
That's
Katie
right.
came into our lives.
Yeah. Dang, that long?
Yeah, so Logan met Katie at BNOC. After, when I met Logan, we met Katie at the same time. And then Katie,
Because I was like,
he was leaving.
Yeah, I was there before. Then the whole thing happened, and Katie came back, and so she ended up staying. I was like, hey, my best buddy Mike is coming down, and so
Oh yeah, you told me about this. Yeah.
and so then Katie would come down and see Milda. They'd go hang out with Mike, and that's where she met Logan.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And my first time meeting Logan was last night.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you met his wife.
I met, 15 years ago.
Yeah. My soon-to-be wife.
I mean,
at
I've
that point.
heard about him for years, but
Yeah.
it's our first time meeting.
Yeah.
He kinda-
You're soon to be wife. I mean, she's your wife now, but
Yeah, well, I had to get an ex-wife
Yeah,
first so
yeah.
she could become my wife.
step one.
Step one.
So,
Ditch the first.
Yeah.
so you're going through this, and I don't know if you've heard. We had mentioned Ibogaine earlier. Did you? I went and did Ibogaine and 5-MeO DMT. Did you do it? Did you do that?
Yeah.
Did you go to Mexico?
Yeah,
Or where-
I did. Yep. In Tijuana.
Oh, did you go with the mission within? Or who'd you
No,
go?
so I went through Ambio.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got a grant through VETS,
Okay.
Veterans Exploring Treatment Solutions.
Yeah.
And they're, I guess, not preferred. Like they're like, you can go wherever you want, but I was like, you tell me where to go. They're like this one. So
Okay.
yeah, I went to Ambio.
Yeah, the vets. I don't know if I might be screwing this up. It's neither here nor there, but what got you interested in that, and what was that like for you? Like,
Yeah, so I mean, it's almost like every at least special operations guy that I've known have gone through it. Like they heard about it on a podcast, It's like, So like specifically like Sean Ryan's podcast I would listen to, and he talked about his experience with it, and then had on a bunch of guys who did it. I was like, oh, that kind of sounds like something I'd be interested in doing. So that was maybe a year ago, I think I applied or whatever.
Yeah.
Was there a specific trigger that made you look into something like that?
Not really. I mean, I definitely knew I needed to make some changes in my life. You know what I mean? Like I was, an asshole, treat my family not have how I wanted to. And like I knew all that, and I knew I needed to change it. I just didn't know how. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I'd be like, oh, I'm just going to be a nicer guy. Well, it doesn't fucking work that way sometimes. So,
right.
I knew that I needed change. And then listening to the podcast, I was like, okay, like that sounds like something that'd be kind of cool to do. But it wasn't like, I didn't go down there for that specifically. At least that's not why I applied. I applied because I was like kind of going through this like spiritual awakening, like, trying to shed who I was to like become, shed like the military guy, get rid of that part of me. So I was going through that anyway, and I was like, well, shit, man, I'll do some fucking psychedelics and go down there and trip balls and see God or whatever, So like, that's kind of why I applied, but I didn't know what I was getting into.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's a wild ride,
Yeah.
So it turned out to be a lot more than I was expecting. But yeah, so it was a little bit of all of that.
Yeah. I like to tell people like, this isn't something, at least with Ibogaine or Iboga, this isn't something that you would seek out to do recreationally, it is fucking rough.
Right.
But
yes. So I didn't know that.
Yeah,
so
I didn't either.
I thought it was going to be kind of like a typical like psilocybin trip. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you're going to see shit and you're going to feel good and blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, you can have a bad trip, but okay, whatever. You know, like I thought it was a more recreational. I wasn't doing it for recreation, but I didn't know what it was. So when I got down there and like went through it, I was like, holy shit, like no one's doing this for fun.
Yeah.
Like that was crazy.
It's crazy that it's a Schedule 1 drug, because I don't know that would be, there's no way that that's addictive.
Well, they use it to break addictions.
Yeah.
So people who are addicted
Yeah.
to it's like the opposite of the shit that it's paired with.
My thing with Ibogaine for me was like a way to kind of close out some tabs in my head. And really, I kept telling everybody, I kept going in with like the thought of like, I just need to like front towards enemy, like just point me, because I didn't know which way was up, you know, like probably like, you know, emotionally, physically, like all of the above. And that kind of, it doesn't fix problems, but it like highlighted for me, like I was looking over here and I was like, nah, dude, you need to be over here. And I was like, oh shit. Like I haven't thought about that in 30 years.
I kind of view it as like, kind of like a reset button, like a, you know, powered on reset or something like that. It
was a Control Alt Delete. Yeah. For the Blackhawk people, power on reset.
Yeah. I didn't know what you guys were saying. I was like, what is this gibberish bullshit?
What are you speaking to me?
Super
but
feminine.
they equated it to like a 5-degree course change.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not going to solve your problems. It's not like a magic pill that's going to get all of your problems to go away. But if you take the 5 degrees, it might feel like a little bit now, but if you stay on that new course in 15 miles, you're going to be way off of where you were prior.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And there's like a lot of science behind that it builds new neural pathways and like that there's definitely some things that like I didn't have before that post that experience definitely rewired. And I would say to anybody that's interested in it, you should do it. I mean, I'm an advocate. I'm sure there's some people that medically probably shouldn't do it. You know, if you have like high blood pressure, maybe it's not a great idea, but I think generally I wish like when you were getting out of the Army, that was like the protocol. Yeah. It's like when you get out of the Army, hey man, you're going to go down with these shaman dudes and they're going to do this fucking smoke all over you. And then they're going to do it. And then you're going to start a journey to unfucking yourself.
Oh, I 100% believe that like everyone at some point getting out of the military should do this.
Yeah.
But I mean, at least give the option to, because it's one of those things like if you don't go into it with intention and like, you know, if you're, fucking this, it'll be whatever, like you just go to do it. Like you're not going to get anything out of it or it's not going to give you that course correction. You're just going to be like, that fucking sucked and be mad about it. So it should be the option like, hey, like it heals traumatic brain injury, you know, helps with PTSD, depression, like all these things. Like if you want to go through this experience, this is part of your retirement package.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we had a guy, I was telling Tyler this morning, we had a guy in my group that I don't think prepared at all. And he was a fairly wealthy guy. And I mean, he was a Army guy too, but you could tell like he had just kind of made some decisions that have kind of came back to haunt him with his personal life. And I don't know that he did a ton of work before going in. And I said it on the podcast before, I wish I would have done more work going in, because I just kind of, my buddy Jeremy, Marine, we were, you know, grew up as kids together. He went and did it. And then he was like, dude, you got to do this. And I'm like, man, I don't need to do that. And then I just was like, okay, I need to do this. And listened to his experience. I was like, okay, well, what's your intention? And like, I just kind of like looked on his paper.
Yeah.
And like, I was like, well, I'm going to do that.
What'd you write down? I'll do the same.
Yeah. And I went into it like, well, I'm just fucking I just copied his work.
Yeah.
And I still got a shit ton out of it, but it would have been so much better. But I don't think I was at a position that I could have wrap my head around it.
Yeah.
That, you know, like when you're on this side of the thing, like you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly. Yeah. And they, like they try to tell you, you know, like I don't know if you did this, but like I went through, I think it was 2 or 3 like pre-retreat like sessions with a psychologist.
Yeah.
And there was, you know, a lot of attention setting, like what are you looking for? Like, you know, kind of a, hey, this is what you're getting into kind of thing. But I was like, oh yeah, like, you know, it won't be that bad. You know what I mean? Like, and I agree. Like during it and like directly afterward, I'm like, I will never do this again.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, it's kind of like giving birth. You know, women are like, why would you ever want to give birth again? It's like, I feel like it's like that. And I will go down there if I do it again, when I do it again, my intentions will be so much more clear and purposeful. They were, but it was, I almost kind of felt like I was just kind of not faking it, but like I had some clear intention, but like, now that I know what I'm getting into and like the power of the medicine, I mean, they told me they're like, you can't do this wrong, but I do think I could do it better. Yeah.
I would 100% agree with that. And my thing was, I went in with the attitude, like, I'm just going to figure it out in real time. Like I always do with everything. And then, and I wish I would have done some prep work, but I don't know that I could have, you know. I
don't know how you prepare for something like that unless you know, or like talk to someone. Cause I hadn't really talked to anybody who had done it before. Yeah. You know, I'd heard about it on the podcast and stuff like that. And like, really like when I got down there, one of the guys in my group, this was his second time doing it. So he had done it like 3 years prior, and he had like he wasn't in the military, but he had like pretty bad brain injury stuff, had like a tremor. Yeah. And they were like doing a little bit of research. Like he was part of a research project on like getting rid of like whatever the kind of tremor he had. It was a very specific kind, I can't remember, but he was like, you know, that first morning, the breakfast, like we're kind of talking about it, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, him and like the little guide that we had, we're talking like, oh yeah, this is going to be crazy. And like kind of making like offhanded comments about like, like the big mission or something. Like, is it really going to be that bad? Like, really? And it didn't scare me, but I was like, oh shit. Like, I think I bit off a lot here. So
yeah, it was definitely like, I was still kind of going into it like, I don't really believe this shit. Like I was just kind of like, man, I'm just going to do it because I need to do something. And then probably like 2 hours in, I was kind of like, holy shit, I just jumped off a cliff and like, I don't know where this goes or what's going to happen. Yeah. And it was definitely, anyways, you can go back and listen to it. What's 42? Is it episode 42?
I'll look it up.
Yeah, let's look it up. I can't remember. But
yeah, I think I listened to
yours. If you want the full thing, you can go listen to that pod. And Jeremy's is 37, 39. Maybe?
That was your Marine buddy, right?
Yeah.
I listened to that one too.
Yeah. So believe it or not, like those 2 episodes are now like number 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They're the most like people look when they type in for whatever reason, we come up for that. So cool. There's definitely a large percentage of the population that is interested in this stuff. And I mean, like I said, I mean, have you thought about ever?
Yeah, when I get done working, right? Yeah, because I'm still got. I still got clearance and flight status and all that stuff, so I'll hang out until then. But yeah, I think I'm interested in that for sure.
I would definitely. I would definitely recommend it if you're in if somebody's in a weird place, and it doesn't have to be like PTSD or TBI. You can, I mean, like nobody likes to talk about it, but people get depressed and people get anxiety, and I definitely think that this is if you have no other starting point, it's a good place to start. Yeah. It's just not a fix all. This just, the best way I can say is like, it just gives you room to maneuver. Yeah. Like we just dropped the J dam and it blew everything out. And then like, now I can work in this quiet space. Yeah.
Like in the quiet of the J dam after you have space to make changes. Yeah. You know,
has it been helpful for you? Because when I did it, my tinnitus went away.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then now
that doesn't surprise me.
Well, it went away completely. I got home, I went surfing, and it came back when the cold water hit my ears.
Oh, really?
However, my right ear tinnitus is pretty much non-existent. My left ear is still pretty decent, but it's not as bad as
Sure.
Ibogaine. And I guess there's some neurological stuff with tinnitus that's not, people think it's auditory, but it's your brain processing an auditory signal. Yep. And Kevin was telling me that there is a bunch of evidence now, science, that he's probably like, you're fucking it up, dude. but like that says that tinnitus is a precursor for shorter lifespan. Like,
fuck.
It will, you know.
Well, they like when you lose your hearing.
Yeah.
That's one of the causes of like brain degeneration, like Parkinson's and dementia and stuff like that. Like if you when you're losing your hearing, you need to start getting hearing aids because it will affect your brain health.
Is that just due to the lack of signals that your brain's picking up? It's just not working as hard?
I think so. I'm not entirely sure. I just know that there is a correlation there.
Well, in the brain thing, because, you know,
you're a brain doctor.
I'm a brain doctor now.
MD.
Anytime, you know, like my wife used to always say this to me, your thoughts become your reality. And I was just like, man, what kind of hippy dippy bullshit are you on about? But you're hot, so I'm just going to I totally believe you. But what happens is you're in your brain, and I think we've talked about this, is anytime like you're with a negative people or whatever you've seen in the Army a million times, like one negative Nancy is, you know, bitching and complaining.
It's like a cancer.
It starts to spread. And the next thing you know, everybody's pissy pants. Well, what happens is your brain is always looking for pattern recognition, right? So anytime, you know, you walked in here with the brain that you built yourself, you know, so if every time something goes wrong and you're like, fucking shit always goes wrong for me, like nothing's, and that's how you see like these patterns of people that just, you're like, dude, you were born to lose. Like you cannot get out of your own way, because they fucking did it themselves. And what happens is every time that your brain, it looks for patterns, right? So every time that you have these same thoughts or you get in these loops, your brain is literally rewiring neurons, because it goes, well, that's what he wants me to do. And so it does. And so you hear these people that are like, have gratitude. And, you know, like, I was like, you guys are full of shit. Like,
I used to think the same thing. And now I'm like, dude, just have gratitude.
Yeah. And I was the same way. And then it clicked for me kind of right before I went to do Ibogaine. Was like, it was like some dude, and he explained it as, if you're busy thinking about being grateful for the things you have, you physically can't complain at the same time. Yeah. Like you can't, your brain, and what happens is when you start thinking that way, your brain you can have a negative brain or you can have a positive brain where you start to go, oh shit, I'm thankful for this. And then once you do the reps, like just like you work out your muscles, right? If you start doing that, then your brain goes, oh, okay, this is what we're doing. Oh, okay, cool. And then it starts to look for all the positive things, right? And then you see these people that are like always happy and they're like nothing phases them. That's because that's the way they think. And and your brain also likes critical thought, right? So like if you were able to take, you can do this with anything in your life, right? Organizing your closet, for example. Like if you think about the critical facts about how I'm going to organize my closet today, and okay, these are the themes I want to have. I want to be more organized. I want to feel better when I walk in my closet. I don't know if I can make some shit up. What happens is your brain starts to rewire for that stuff. So then the next day you're going to critically think about a project at work, and you go, okay, what are the facts? Okay, these are the facts. What are the themes? Okay, these are the themes. Okay, what's the end state here? And you start thinking in these kind of silos. Silos is not the right word, but like you put things in these buckets. Your brain now starts to think that way about everything you do. And what happens is every time you start doing that, new neurons are like connecting, and different parts of the brain are talking, which might not have happened before. And that's why like AI, like ChatGPT, which huge fan of, but now I realize like I'm using ChatGPT to like do like the dumbest shit that I could have done myself and like that, you know, because I'm training my brain to to shut down thinking and outsource it to a computer, which brief's kind of good, you know, like makes my life easier, but it's really fucking making you dumber. And then you get to the point where, you know, we're like a idiocracy, you know, you know, so you can, and I kind of thought that with your injury, if that, you know, if something like, if you thought your thoughts became your reality of like not letting this like define you and like ruin your life, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I mean, it was an active choice to not let it ruin my life. Cause a lot of people it would have, you know, and it does.
Yeah.
You know, so I had a lot of very positive people in my life. No one abandoned me. You know what I mean? Like I know guys who they got hurt and like his wife divorced him. His parents, like he doesn't talk to him anymore. Like he got injured and they were like, deuce out.
Yeah. This
you know
is
what I
too
mean?
much
Like
work.
none of that happened to me. I had an amazing support system,
and you gotta
but it was an active choice to not be a victim or to let it ruin my life, you know, and it's an opportunity to like show my kids that you can overcome adversity. You know what I mean? Like, so
I'm sure it plays in a lot because I don't think people understand like when you have something like this happen, like shit like your car, right? You probably had to get like your truck or car specifically modded so you can drive it again, right?
I drive a Chrysler Pacifica.
Sick,
with a ramp that comes out the side and everything. Yeah, it's a pretty pimp van.
You should get. I always wanted like to get like a '70s van with like the teardrop in the back corner, like a wizard mural on the back.
Yeah.
And my wife's like, "That's a pedophile van," and I'm like, "No, it could be cool, but
no, just listen to me, Patty. It's gonna be fine.
It's gonna be." She's like, "No, you're never getting that." But you know, you've got to modify your car. Your house has got to have modifications. You know, like, are you in the same house you were in?
No, so the VA did adapt my 2-story house that I was in at the time, so I could get in it with like a lift, and then you know you see like commercials with like old ladies going up the stairs and like the stair glide. So I had one of those. But I'm in like a fully adapted house that Tunnel to Towers built for me.
Does it have like lowered countertops?
The countertops aren't lowered, but like, I mean, everything, like all the sinks have like undercuts that I can get under. Like it is specifically designed to be like fully accessible.
It probably makes sinks so much easier, right?
Oh yeah. And there's like zero barrier entry stuff. So like every exit has, you know, just
no thresholds or anything.
No stairs, nothing. Yeah, it's really convenient.
And you were saying, like going up or down stairs. Do you just like send it with the wheel? Like, are you just handling it yourself?
What, like in my wheelchair?
Yeah, like if you were like in a place that you didn't see a ramp and it was like 3 or 4 stairs. Can you just I've seen guys like drive themselves up before.
Yeah, there are ways to go upstairs in a wheelchair, but they're very hard. It's very taxing. So what I'll do is I'll just like transfer out of my chair like onto the steps and just like butt bump up the steps.
Okay.
And most of the time, if I'm doing something like that, I have someone with me who can like carry my chair. Like, you know, he'll help me out and
your emotional support human.
Yeah. My service bitches. Actually, I play sled hockey as well. And one of the guys I play sled hockey with, he has a shirt that we made for him. So he's like able-bodied, right? But he plays with us. And he has a shirt that says "Service bitch, do not pet." Like working service bitch, do not pet. And like we'll go through like the airport and people will be like, most people laugh. Yeah. But like some people get highly offended.
Of course.
But I'm like, that's fuck you. Like,
you're offended at me.
So I can, but I can also like wheelie downstairs.
Yeah.
So I had a phenomenal OT in the VA who like taught me all kinds of wheelchair skills. But
do you still work out?
I do a little bit.
Do you see like obstacles out when you're about wheeling around thinking like, I kind of want to hit that.
Like a
skateboard or something.
Can I grind on that? Like, sometimes, yeah. And it's gotten out of hand a couple times. Like I took a spill probably 2 years ago. You know, I was out in Colorado at a buddy's house, and you know I bumped in, And I was talking to his kids and they're like, oh, like you can like wheelie down curbs. I'm like, yeah, like it's, wheelies are not just a party trick in a wheelchair. Like they are incredibly useful. It is an absolute necessary skill for like independence.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, like I can wheelie down like multiple stairs at a time. They're like, really? I'm like, yeah, I'll do it when I leave. So we go to leave and there's like 10 people watching me, like, his family, like his parents were there. They know me from we went to high school together and stuff. And so I go and it's concrete steps and I hit the first one and like the tread on my tire was like almost completely gone. Like you could see like the tube almost. And I hit the first one and my left wheel like shot out from under me and my chair just went straight out. And I fell straight down onto like the second step and man, did that hurt. Oh, I scraped up my back so bad, like right like on my injury.
Because you were like this. Yeah,
because I'm leaning back.
Yeah.
Like wheeling down it and oh man, so I had to like play it off like it didn't hurt. They're like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. No. Like I get in the car and my sister's like, are you okay? I'm like, no. It hurts so bad. So I don't wheelie downstairs unless I absolutely have to at this point.
Yeah.
But I'll go off a curb all the time.
Yeah.
Or go up them too.
I always thought like, it's everybody that I've ever met that was in a wheelchair was the opposite of what I thought they would be like. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean that, like I always thought that they, like, okay, I'm going to hold this door open for you. And like, I had one friend that would like get very upset about it. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really realize until I was like, oh shit. Yeah. Like it wasn't my intention, but you just kind of start doing things like that.
Sure.
Did that ever happen with you? Has that ever?
Oh man, I've had people run across like an establishment. Like they'll see me coming and they will like hoof it across a store and like open the door for me and be like, oh, let me get that for you. And I'm like, thank you. Like, like.
Yeah, it's kind of like thank you for your service. Like
exactly.
Yeah,
like say? My thing is like if it's a normal situation where you would open a door for somebody, like do that.
Yeah.
But I also understand it. Before my injury, if I saw some dude in a wheelchair rolling up to the thing, I'd probably hold it a little extra longer for the guy.
Yeah.
But it's like the people who like run across the store and like
virtue signaling kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. They'll like open it up. Like the greatest is when they open it. And then they like stand in the doorway and you're like, oh, like you're in my way. And they're like, oh, sorry. And
they just don't like
go like that, like just like lean back. I'm like, no, it's your feet are in my way. Like, so like I've literally had to be like, no, thank you. You're in my way. Like,
yeah,
I got the door. If I'm out here alone, if you wouldn't see me out here alone if I couldn't handle it.
Yeah. Was that weird of being a friend that you wanted to help and like
no I immediately
you're like,
refuse in almost all instances. And it's funny, right? Like I certainly don't feel like I'm teaching the world when I'm with Logan, right? But like I want other people to know, like, like, hey, he's just a dude. Like when we walked up here today, like he'll open his own fucking door.
Yeah,
I open the door for him. I open the,
right.
But as a matter of fact, Mike makes you open the door for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's absolutely times where I just know it's going to be easier if I interact for him.
Yeah.
Right. But I always forget, like we were going to get ice cream last night and I didn't even think about it, but there's like 3 steps to winning this ice cream shop. So we're like, well, fuck that. You know what I mean? Like we're not getting ice. It was also closed, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
pushed all the way over there and it was closed.
Yeah. Like as much time as we spend together, there's still things that I just like overlooked that, you know, like it's just not a feasible thing. Or we could certainly do it, but we're not butt bumping upstairs just to get ice cream. You know what I mean? Like,
Wits is good though.
Yeah, no doubt.
Where you guys stay?
That's where we would try to go. The custard shop.
Where's that?
Wits. There's one in Melbourne proper, and then there's one down Minton.
Oh, speaking of which, we got to give a shout out to Fitness Society.
Yeah.
They're a supplement shop, local supplement shop here in Melbourne, Florida. I just bought some BCAAs and EAA intra and post-workout stuff. So if you live in this area, stop by, patronize them. Good people. They got stuff you probably are not going to find in GNC or...
They specifically get stuff that you can't get at like... They might have some stuff you can get at Vitamin Shop or GNC, but they try to focus on brands that aren't like...
Yeah, they're like... Their versions are like, I think, generally healthier than...
Yeah. Less
other
bullshit.
places. Yeah. And they also got a website. What's the website again?
FitnessSocietySupplements.com.
Yeah, FitnessSocietySupplements.com. Go on there, sign. I think they have like a frequent, like a
you get
frequent points.
Points. You get a point system.
Yeah, I just got a free shaker bottle today. So,
Dang, on your first
my
purchase.
first one.
Dang.
I slam dunked that one.
Nice.
Like, so check them out, FitnessSocietySupplements.com. And we really appreciate we're using their studio today. So stop by if you're in Melbourne. We're in the one on
North Wickham.
Right
across from the Crunch.
Yeah. So come on by and say hello. So just want to thank those guys. But all right, back to what we're talking about here. So what's going on for like the next thing you guys are doing? I mean, are you I mean, Mikey, you're working, contracting. Have you picked up any hobbies or anything? Like what do you do with your time?
Yeah. So
I would like to not work.
yeah, it's good. You know, it's great to not have to work for sure. So I play sled hockey.
What is sled hockey?
So sled hockey is you're like you sit in a bucket and it has like a frame that like holds your feet off the ice and you skate on two pretty close together like skate blades, but they're not skates, but they're like skate blades. And you play hockey out of that. So you have two sticks, one in each hand, and on one end is like the puck handling end, and then on the other, like the bottom end, are picks. So you slide your hands up and down them depending on what you're doing, and you push off with the sticks with the picks in the ice and skate around and turn and hit people, and it's a good time.
Did you play hockey before?
I didn't.
No,
I grew up playing baseball, so I wanted to play hockey as a kid, but my parents wouldn't let me. So.
Yeah, same. I mean, you grew up in that part of the world, right?
Yeah, James got to play hockey.
Yeah.
I didn't get to.
Probably his dad paid for it.
Yeah,
most likely.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it was my mother.
No,
too soon.
So I do that. I'm on a all veteran team out of Rockville, Maryland. So that's you mentioned
do you
like what do you
around?
do? Yeah, so we up and down the East Coast. The next season I think we're going to like Dallas.
Oh, nice.
We've been to California. It's an excuse to get with some veterans and hang out and beat the like we kind of suck, like we don't win a lot, but we're like a very physical team, and people enjoy beating the shit out of us because they're like, man, like you guys actually like hit us like hard and stuff. We're like, well, like half our team are like double amp Marines who just like want to annihilate people. Like it's great.
And if you're not going to be good, you got to be violent.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a Goon.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys seen that movie Goon?
Yeah.
That's such a good movie.
Like we're a good team. We just don't practice together, and we go up like we intentionally play in a higher division than we probably should, just so that, like the competition's better. Because like we're in a weird spot. Like if we played down, we'd like beat the shit out of everybody, and we don't want to do that. So we play up and lose mostly, but we play against teams that have like Paralympians on them and like all kinds of stuff.
So you have to travel up there then to practice, or? Yeah,
I don't really like practice with them too much. Like there's a good like cohort that kind of live up in that area. It actually started out of Walter Reed.
Okay.
So a lot of those guys kind of stayed in that area. So they practice a lot, but I have gone up there a couple times for practice, but for the most part, I just show up to the tournaments and try to suck as little as I can.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way to do it.
Try to help a little bit, but so I do that. Busy with my kids. My son is 13 and is like, we're in like full retard mode with like youth baseball. You know what I mean? Like travel ball and all kinds of crazy shit. So we spend a lot of time doing that. Daughter does gymnastics and she's, pretty hardcore into that. So
is it weird? Like when you guys were growing up, like I played sports, but it wasn't like on the level that like my kids are doing.
No,
like,
it's completely different.
I mean, my son wrestles and plays lacrosse, and it's fucking year round.
Yeah,
like his and like listen, I love his wrestling coach, phenomenal coach, awesome people, but they want him 2 days a week in the off season. He's 2 to 3 days a week. He's wrestling. Mm-hmm. Or lacrosse is all off season. There's clubs and like the thing that not kills me, but there are parents out there, and if you're listening, you're one of those parents, maybe this is a wake up call, but or I'm going to insult you, but like there are parents that live vicariously through their kids and like are fucking really serious about it.
Yeah.
And I just want to, I'm like usually like, hey man, they're just in middle school or they're in high school. Like,
well, I think everybody now thinks there's a chance to be pro. Like when I was playing sports as a kid, it was never like, man, ain't nobody I play baseball against is gonna be in the major leagues. Like it's just not happening.
It's been commercialized so much, and like it's a business now. Like youth sports like is a business.
Yeah.
So like I mean, admittedly, like we're full into it. Like we have a batting cage at the house, like a machine. Like my son trains a lot, but he like really wants to play in college.
Yeah.
And in today's environment, you have to fucking do that stuff.
You're going to get left in the dust by the
100%.
people that are doing that.
Well, also at this point in time, it's either that or screens, right?
Yeah.
So it's either they get hard into some kind of athletics or it goes like the opposite direction versus when we were growing up, it was either you played sports or you just rode your bike around town and got into trouble.
Right. Yeah. So it would either be a ton of baseball or peeling him away from his screens, which is already hard enough as it is. And like I'm a big believer in like sports is like a teacher, kind of like it teaches you work ethic. Like we talk about like work ethic a lot and like having a goal and working towards your goal and like this, you know, you don't just make it, and no matter what you're gonna do, you don't just show up and like you're the guy. You know what I mean? There's a lot of behind the scenes work that has to go into it. So if you want to play in college and you really want to, like it takes sacrifice, it takes effort. You know, he works out a bunch.
And he puts in the time too. Like he
loves it. Like he's asking me like, hey dad, let's go out to the cage and hit. And like, I'm very clear with him. I'm like, look, man, like when you're done doing this, you let me know.
Yeah.
Because if you're not in it, I don't want to sit in 115 feels like 115 in Ocean City for 5 days.
Yeah, in a tournament.
Like just baking in the sun. If you don't want to be there, my God, my man, I don't either. So let me know.
Here in Florida, we'll have lacrosse tournaments that are like in July that they're playing 4 or 5 games back to back in like this kind of weather.
Yeah, we've done 2 or 3 tournaments up here in Vieira at the USA U-Trip
those
Space Coast.
Yeah, those
phenomenal
used to be,
fields.
They used to be spring training for
the Nationals.
And then I think they moved to the west coast of Florida now. But they converted those
we've been down here in the middle of July doing baseball 2-3 games a day sometimes. So I'm like, hey man, like my wallet, the miles I put on my car, and like the emotional damage being done to you, like doing youth sports. Like if you're not into it,
well, I think that's the difference.
We'll find something else.
And that's the difference between what he was saying is like some parents force that.
Yeah.
Where you're like, hey man, if you want to do this, we'll make it happen to the extent that you want to go versus like, I never made it, so you're going to make it.
Yeah. That's probably a better way of
like there's supporting and then there's forcing.
Well, I definitely like you have the option to not do this, but like if you choose to and like your goals and like I'm going to hold you to a standard and like you're going to have to do the work and like, you know, that's the learning point is like if you really have a goal to do this, you have to put in the work. It's not like, oh, we're going to put you on this team that costs a bunch of money and do all this travel and like you're just not going to practice.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's one or the other.
Yeah, we have a thing is once you start, you can't quit.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Weird.
I wonder where that came from.
I don't know.
That was like my mom's rule with everything. He's like, you can never quit anything. Wait till it's over, and then you don't have to do it next year.
Yeah.
So and the other thing is, all of our kids, we've always made them play a team sport.
Yeah.
Like you can do an individual sport, but you have to have a couple seasons with a team sport to understand team dynamics.
Learning how to lose is probably like the most important thing that those sports will teach somebody, because if the first time you lose is when you're in your 20s and you're on your own, you're fucked.
Especially in this world.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But like, so I thought the same way. Like all of my kids are going to do a team sport. My daughter does gymnastics and like, we cannot get her to try something else. She was like, I love gymnastics. Like, okay, well, at least you're doing something.
Yeah. I would caveat that saying if my kids like would have found like their thing, it would have been different. But we were like, okay, look, they played volleyball and like, well, they didn't really like volleyball. I was like, how about softball? You guys play softball? They played softball. Like, And so eventually they both settled on, individual sports. But we had a few of those trial and error where we were playing team sports.
Yeah. Might not be your jam.
Yeah, it's like I think the best thing is just to get out there and try it. So,
what weight's your son wrestling right now?
Well, last year he wrestled at he was 167. He was down at he cut down to 158.
158.
And, but this year, dude's been in the gym. He's taller than me. He's 178 right now, but he's ripped up, but he's like, Dad, he's like, I got to start a cut. Like, I'm like, bro, wrestling is November. Like, but he wrestles on a club team. And we've talked about this on the podcast. Wrestling is like the ultimate, like, mental get your kids ready for life is fucking. I wish I would have been a wrestler.
Me too.
But the problem is, like, we push him. Like, they have all these summer camps, and his coach is like, I need you at the camp. You know, the coach is calling me. He's like, hey, what is he doing? And I'm like, look, my kid is a physical wrestler and a technical. Like, he could be awesome, but it's like if you push him too hard. Like, when he was like in 4th grade, he wrestled the whole folk style, and then he went to the coach like, hey, I signed you up for freestyle for this afternoon's part of the tournament. And my son's like, I don't want to do that. And the coach is like, no, just try it out. My son never wrestled freestyle, goes out there, pins a kid in like 10 seconds and stands up in front of God and everybody in this whole tournament. He's in 4th grade. He throws his hands down. He goes, I told you I didn't want to do this. Oh, no. And like screamed the top of his lungs and bolts out of the tournament.
Oh, man.
And like, you know, so I'm there, you know, because usually the parents and the coach will be like on the side, and you go like shake the other opponent's hand. My son didn't go shake the other coach's hand, just bolts out of the arena. And so I'm over there like, everybody thinks I'm a dickhead parent because my kid's an asshole. And finally tracked my son down, and I was like, look, that was my fault. Like, I pushed you too hard. You didn't want, and he took a year off from wrestling. He was like, I'm not fucking wrestling. He didn't say fucking, but he's like, I'm never wrestling again. I was like, hey, cool, man. No big deal. And then the next year he's like, well, maybe. And then and here the coach has him from the time that they're like 3 or 4. He's the high school coach, and he's coaching them from there all the way up to like. Oh, nice. Yeah. I mean, our school will typically at least have 1 or 2 wrestlers that are state champs. And they had 4, they'll typically have 3 to 4 people that get wrestling scholarships.
Oh, wow.
Like, people come from other schools to our school just to wrestle. Like,
cool.
They drive. Like,
it's a good program.
Yeah. It's in this part of Florida, it's one of the powerhouses. But yeah. Did you wrestle?
Yeah, I did for a little while. Like, I've always been a little dude, right? Yeah. So when I was in 7th grade, I wrestled 87. Yeah. And then 95 in 8th grade. And as my freshman, I was 103. As a sophomore, I was 12. And then I got beat by this girl at 112. And I think I stopped. I was like, I think I'm done. You know what I mean? Because I was always stronger than my peer group. Yeah. So I never really learned the skill. I just kind of like muscled people around. And then that chick beat me pretty bad in front of everybody. And I remember going like, I got to get right. And I never did. And that was one of the last days I wrestled.
My son got beat by a girl in 6th grade. And he was like, you know, he was like, he was humiliated because a girl beat him.
Well, in 6th grade, that is a humiliating
thing. Yeah, and he's in 6th
Right.
grade. Yeah. And I was like, dude, look, that chick's probably her dad's a coach. She's been wrestling since she was 3.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, this is a wake-up call for you to get, like, you're stronger, but you need to be technical.
Yeah.
Like, she beat you because she's a better wrestler than you. And he was like, yeah, I guess, you know, and he kind of took that to heart and then came back next year working on skills. But I definitely think wrestling, we talked about the episode with Ben Davis, is like super, super important to get.
I want to get my kids into jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
But we don't have the time.
Well, yeah, with travel ball.
we don't have time.
Yeah.
Between baseball and my daughter's gymnastics, like 5 days a week, it's just we don't have time.
Holy shit,
that's a lot.
Yeah,
it is. A lot.
So what's next for you, Mike? You're doing the contractor thing?
Yeah, for the foreseeable future. My wife's going to leave me in 5 years if I'm doing it longer.
Yeah, that's the 5-year plan.
That's the 5-year plan. No greater than 5 years.
Okay.
and I say leave me, she's going to move to where we want to move. I don't know. She might leave me
Where
5
do
years.
you want to go?
We're going to northern Arizona.
Okay.
Yeah. She has found a calling, as have I, just like for the high desert out there in the Prescott area. And man, every time we go, we are happier people just being in the area. Right.
I love that area.
Yeah.
Dude.
It's great. So we'll do this for the next 3 to 5 years. And then that's where our future holds. Yeah.
That's a pretty different change of pace and scenery from where you are now. I lived up there for a while, and there's a lot of things I like about that area, but there's a lot of things I hate about that area. And it seems like I-64 is like always under construction. I don't know if it is still,
Yeah,
but
still.
like I was there 25 years ago. I was there, and it was still fucking shit.
So they're redoing the HRBT area, and they're expanding from 2 lanes to 4 lanes on both sides of the highway, all the way from Newport News to Richmond. And they're like, what, 3/4 of the way to Richmond?
Yeah, probably 3/4.
And yeah,
they've dug 2 new tunnels on either side. So now there's going to be 2 lanes going into, across the peninsula, and 2 lanes coming, so.
Oh, yeah, because my wife used to work. We lived on Fort Monroe back when it was an army
cool.
base.
Yeah.
It was fucking awesome, man.
Yeah,
I lived
Fort
in
Monroe's cool.
I lived in a casemate, like an actual gun emplacement battery. Like I lived on Battery DeRussy, and so like my house, like there was like a World War II or coastal artillery battery. Like
oh, that's cool.
You just like walk out my back door,
living
and, like,
in the history.
And like we would take our kids, or we didn't have kids then, but our neighbor had kids, and we would go trick or treating with them.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go inside the old fort at Fort Monroe, where all the generals live, all the TRADOC back then, I don't think it's TRADOCs there anymore, but it used to be headquarters was Fort Monroe, and Fort Monroe had like 12 generals that live there.
Yep.
Like for fucking TRADOC.
Yep.
That's the training command, right? So you had a 4-star, like 2 3-stars, like 6 2-stars, and like 8, however many. But they'd go trick or treating in there, and like when you're a general, did you know that you get like a cook assigned to you?
Yeah.
Like a guy and a driver.
Yep.
And the cooks, you go like do their thing, and they would have like a serving platter of like full size like Snickers bars and like that I'm sure the general bought it, but like there were so many things like when I was there. It was a cool place to live. But my wife worked in Norfolk, and she would have to drive across the tunnel every day. And there's always, because people think like you just go under the Hampton Road, under the Chesapeake Bay, but then when you get on Norfolk, there's other tunnels in Norfolk that you have to go, like the Midtown Tunnel, and like there's always an accident in that one.
Yep.
And
people get in the tunnels and they just don't know what to
lose
do.
their mind.
Yeah.
Like I don't. How hard is this? Just it's a solid
it's a
white
lane.
line.
Just stay in the lane.
Yeah. And don't hit the car
stop.
in front of you.
Yeah, but there's always some dude in like a beat up Altima or something that like just fucking dies.
What kind of guy is that?
Yeah, like it's sometimes it's a lady, but it's always an Ultima. I'll tell you that.
It is always an Ultima.
Yeah.
So, but there's always something with that. But so moving out to Arizona.
Yeah.
Are you guys are staying in the area? This is where
we're gonna stay at least through the kids' school, whatever they choose to do after high school. The veteran benefits in Virginia are pretty good, so we're gonna stay out there, and after that, I don't know, we'll see, but we plan to stay there at least that for now. That we're there for
10
while.
more years, right?
At least.
I always think there's when I got out of the Army, I came here and I bought a house, and I thought that I would work at the place that Tyler and I worked at. I thought I would stay there forever.
Boy, were you wrong.
Yeah, I totally
Fuck.
shanked that one. But I would have wished, or now my mindset is like, I never say never. People are like, oh, is this your forever home? I'm like, I don't know.
Some dude called him today while we were in his truck, and he was like, hey, I'm so-and-so from Zillow and whatever fucking realty company. He's like, I got some buyers who are looking in your area, and I see that your house would be a perfect fit for them.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, and we're like, all right, cool. And he's like, we were just curious if maybe you'd be interested. And he's like, $2 million. And the guy's like, that sounds like a real fair price. Can I come out? Can we plan a day for me to come out there?
I was like,
$2 million.
My house is not worth $2 million. Not even close.
It can be.
Yeah, market value is market value.
Yeah.
If they pay it, it's worth it.
I'm living in it right now. You got to make it worth it for me to move.
Well, I called him back after I dropped you off.
Yeah.
And I called the place where he said he worked.
Yeah.
And he does work there.
It's a real place.
And it's a real place in Palm Bay.
Dude, if you can get $2 million for your house, fucking sell it.
I told my wife, she's like, $2 million? She's like, when are we moving? I was like, they're not going to give us $2 million. This guy's full of shit.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
never say never.
Yeah.
Dude, maybe somebody wants a guitar pool that's 12 feet deep.
They could. I got a guitar pool. It's 11 and a half feet deep.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Don't church it up.
Yeah. My mom, that actually happened to my mom. A guy drove down and my uncle had built this house like in the 70s and my parents had remodeled it, but I grew up in that house and some dude from New Jersey drove down their little dirt road and saw the house and was like, I want to buy your house. And my mom was like, it's not for sale. He's like, no, you don't understand. Money is no object. I would like to buy your house. And my mom gave a ridiculous number and the guy paid it. He's like, okay, done. I'll send a check tomorrow. And she was like, wait, seriously? He's like, yeah, like 100%. I will write you a cashier. My mom was like, a cashier's check.
Yeah. Something real specific.
And then the dude did, right? My parents moved out. And then this dude, hand to God, burnt down the house to give the fire department training because he didn't want the house. He wanted the land. And then he built a new house.
No shit.
Yeah.
So he was like, hey, just so you know, I'm going to light my house on fire.
Yeah. And
Wow.
they lit the house on fire, had the fire department come out to train in a real structure fire, burn it to the ground, bulldoze it all up, put a new foundation, built a whole new house.
That's
wow.
Yeah.
That's fuck you money.
Yeah. And
$2 million. And I would say that if that happens, I get 10% because that was my idea.
Yeah, that was your idea. Because I was going to be like 1.5.
Yeah, he was looking at it as like, dude, $2 million.
Yeah. And then you're like $3 million. $3 million.
Don't stop now.
Yeah, why? He said yes, way too. Yeah, that checks out. I was like, motherfucker.
Holy shit, guy.
All right.
But this episode is brought to you by Cadence Wealth Partners. You need to get your financial shit together. And who better to do that than a former military dude? Specifically, I'm talking about Nick O'Kelly. You know he's legit, long tabber, special forces, 160th pilot. He's not your average dude. Now, I take small piles of money and I give it to him with the goal of making them bigger piles of money. We're not just talking about only managing money. We're talking about building a financial strategy, estate planning, retirement planning. We're talking 5-paragraph op order kind of shit, but for your finances. He handles all that shit. I don't want to do that. It's annoying. I want nothing to do with it.
Sounds good to me.
He also works with my CPA, and together they do all the tax strategy stuff. I've got a couple side businesses. Tyler's got a couple side hustles. You need some cats looking out for you. Cadence Wealth Partners can be those cats. They're trusted advisors. They come from our community. You know they're legit. Visit financeforvets.com. That's finance, the number 4 vets.com to start a conversation today. Do it.
Do it.
Do it. But guys, thanks for coming down with us. Is there anything that we missed or you guys want to talk about or that we didn't?
You tell me. I don't know.
There's no rules. Like whatever you want to get out to the world. The people that are listening to this are your peer group. Like they're people that are going through all the things you've probably gone through or you're going to go through. Like that's who's listening to this. So anything that you guys want people to know?
I would just say, I'd coming down here more to talk about like the Ibogaine and 5-MeO,
Oh, we didn't talk about 5-MeO. Yeah.
Oh, we didn't. Yeah, we could tell. It's a very powerful medicine, so if you're looking for a course correction or some change in your life and something like that, or even if you're not looking for it, it's a good thing to do. Cause there's a lot of healing properties, like physically healing properties from Ibogaine, like in your brain and other parts of your body. Yeah. It can literally fix like structural damage to your brain.
Yeah.
What was the biggest shift for you in your day to day from that?
I'd say probably like my brain, it felt like it like relaxed.
Yeah.
Like it was like, like a sigh. You
Did
know
you
what I mean?
think that you could sit by yourself and be okay with just sitting?
Oh yeah, I
by
did.
yourself?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I sat for like 4 hours.
Yeah, I'd like sit on my back patio and just like stare at the trees and be like, there's nothing in my brain.
Yeah,
Like,
which is
it's not
unheard
like
of.
yeah, it's the 18 windows that are always open and playing at the same time, or like, you know, now it's like 2.
yeah,
3.
yeah.
That's the shit that like trips me out. Because I've never, and I'm sure you're probably the same way too. There's never a quiet moment inside my head. It's like a fucking constant one thing to the next, to the next, to the next.
Yeah, this Ibogaine specifically, I think, will help with that if you do it. It's crazy.
5-MeO will not do that.
Yeah.
But Ibogaine 100% will.
Yeah.
It doesn't last forever. For me, I could tell, we were talking about this morning, is I could tell when the medicine was not in my body anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it lasted about 40 days ish. Maybe some people say 60. By the 30th day, I was like, I'm feeling not different. I could just tell. And then, old things start to creep in, like old habits start to, when you do Ibogaine, like I didn't touch caffeine for like 60 days afterwards. Like I didn't want anything to do. And there's still things that before would have been a vice for me that I'm just like,
You think in that 30 to 60 day window post Ibogaine or, post the whole retreat, obviously that's probably where you would make your most ground on trying to instill new habits and put in like the more work you can kind of incorporate in that first 30 days.
Yeah, they call that your like integration period.
Okay.
yeah.
So like they were very specific down there. They were like, look, like this is a treatment. This is like not a medical intervention or whatever, but like this is like a medical treatment, and the recovery is where you make your gains.
Yeah.
Right.
So that 5-degree course shift, like you have to maintain that. Like
Right.
if you don't integrate it properly, don't develop, like you build new neural pathways. Like it literally, like it's a factory reset on your brain.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can
really
go
good way to
in
put it.
and like make new neural pathways on things like doing breath work and meditation every day.
Right.
Like I was doing a little bit of that before, but like now it's like I crave it. You know what I mean? Like when I don't get to do it, especially for like a couple of days, I'm like, fuck man, like I need to go meditate.
Yeah.
So like that's the period where you like set those, so if you want to stop drinking, Ibogaine is a great way to stop drinking, and you just don't introduce it back in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but it's a conscious effort that you have to put into it to get out of it what it gives you. You know what I mean? Like it gives you, like you said, space to maneuver and make change in your life, but you have to make it.
Yeah.
I also think it's important that you need to pair Ibogaine with something like 5-MeO DMT, because there was guys in my group that only did Ibogaine, and they had a very one guy had a pretty difficult time like rectifying everything, and it carried over for a while until he did end up doing 5-MeO. Like,
why didn't he do it there?
because he was part of a study with the University of Texas.
Yep, they didn't want to mix it in.
Yeah, so they got an MRI before, actually the place where I work, they got a MRI first, then they went and did Ibogaine, and then they got another MRI like 2 days later.
Yeah. And
what's shitty is they don't release the results. So, I mean, I'm sure they'll eventually be published, but
someday.
the individual didn't, I don't know if they got debriefed on what changed, but I think it's super important if you do decide to do Ibogaine specifically, is you need to chase it with 5-MeO DMT.
Yeah, I would agree.
Because Ibogaine is pretty hardcore, and it'll show you things about yourself that you probably either forgot about or aren't ready, or there's a lot of work there, right? And 5-MeO DMT is like a hug. You know, it's like the best way I can describe it.
Yep. They called it the cherry on top.
Yeah.
They're like, Ibogaine's the big work. DMT is like kind of putting the bow on it.
Yeah. Yeah. There was definitely, like, for the DMT, for me, I didn't see like purple rainbows and, purple elephants and I didn't see any psychedelic things. I saw a bunch of stuff from my childhood, but in a good way. It was there was no negative spin, and I don't think Ibogaine was negative either. Ibogaine was just raw. Was the best way I could describe it. It was, and I felt like I said afterwards, I felt like raw hamburger meat. Like I just got
it feels like a crucible. Like I remember like the gray day.
Yeah.
Like after, the 8 hours of the intense part of it, literally being like, I've never felt this fatigued and tired and worn out and beat up in my entire life.
Yeah.
You're like, I was like, I could probably lay on this mattress for the rest of my life and not move. I mean, obviously I didn't do that, but man, it beats your ass. Like I've called it a crucible.
Yeah.
Like it's really an ass kicker.
I mean, I busted like a bunch of blood vessels in my eyes because I was puking so much.
Yeah. Were you a purger?
Yeah.
I was a purger.
I
did a lot of purging.
Yeah. I puked a lot.
Yeah. I was the purger of the group.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sucked.
But
it's what I needed. You know what I mean? Like Ibogaine and those medicines, they give you what you need, not what you want.
That was another theme of when I went, is like, you get what you need, not what you want. And a lot of that, a couple of the guys, they do, like microdosing of psilocybin. And, I haven't super gotten into that. I would like to. But I know dudes that like have their own like whole grow rooms, and it's like a science to them. They're like on point with their game. Yeah. But they're not doing it. They're doing it to regulate, these guys are hardcore, SF dudes and Rangers and like that have been there and done that, and SEALs and, whatever. But, I would eventually kind of like to get into that. Yeah. But I don't have like the patience for anything either, though.
But you could.
What do you mean?
If you wanted to have the patience for something.
Yeah, I could.
You could.
Yeah. I just don't.
You don't have the patience to try it?
No, not to try it, but like to perfect, like to get, what do they say? That like in order to be good at something, it takes like 10,000 hours.
Oh, to like grow the mushrooms?
Yeah, to like cultivate them and like.
My understanding is it's not very hard.
Oh, really? I mean, shit, sign me up then. Because I thought I had to get like, the optimum angle of the light has to be.
No, that's growing cannabis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, growing mushrooms. I'm pretty sure like you just plant it and like stick it in a closet.
Any retard could do it, I'm sure.
Yeah, because it's a fungi, right? Yeah. So it could just be dark. What'd you say?
I said any retard can do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if only we knew somebody.
I might know a guy.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be, I think that would be, I mean, I wonder if they're ever going to
certain states have, right?
Man, I really, really hope they do. And so are you following the Texas Ibogaine initiative?
Yeah.
That passed the Texas House like on my treatment night.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we found out like we didn't have our phones and all that stuff.
So you just went like really recently?
Yeah, I went my treatment night was May 12th.
Oh, so you were like a month behind me.
Okay.
Yeah, I went in April.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, they just passed it, and I mean it's gaining steam.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those things that it's like
cat's out of the bag on this. I think
it is, and I hope it gains enough momentum to like break through like the medical industry in this country and like actually help people, because I mean it's taking the profits away from like the big dogs. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to. These guys aren't going to be hooked on our pills for the rest of their life. Like, oh shit. It's like, you'd take some plant medicine and you can literally change your life and not need stuff.
We had a guy that went with us. If he might be listening to this, but shout out to him. He's a big dude. And he's probably 6'5" to 6'7". I don't remember, but a big guy. Mm-hmm. And he was on all kinds of meds, and he's not on, he got rid of a lot of them from this.
They were telling me stories down there. Like they had a lady come through who was like massively addicted to opiates. Yeah. Like anyone took what she was taking on a daily basis, like they'd die. Like she was into it hard. She did the Ibogaine. She didn't feel anything. Like she literally sat there for the whole night, had no visions, nothing. Like she was like, this was a waste of my time, blah, blah, blah. like went back to the room, like hung out, and like a day later she's like, I have no desire for like an opiate.
Yeah.
And like it literally like completely kicked it off, because I don't know if you know this, but like the medicine goes in and like cleans the receptors in your brain.
Yeah.
Like that's how it works. Like
Yeah.
it goes in and like cleans your serotonin receptors, cleans your dopamine receptors, cleans your cannabinoid receptors,
Yeah.
like in your brain. So there's no physical
Trace.
addiction.
Yeah.
Like the addiction isn't there. Like, so, you know, it's crazy the stuff that it'll do.
Yeah.
And like they told us a story about a guy who had 3, like in his MRI, had like 3 gashes in the right side of his brain. And this may have actually been on one of the Ambios podcast, but pre and post, those were gone. Like
Really?
the scar tissue in his brain, like post Ibogaine, like it was gone.
Yeah.
You know, it's
insane.
so I
what it
hope
can
they
do.
legalize it
Yeah.
is my point. Is
Yeah.
like they need, like these are literal medicines that help people. So they need to legalize it. Like
and
the
it's been
fucking
around
stigma is
for, like,
bullshit.
thousands of years.
Yeah.
You know?
It's funny how like ancient Chinese secret sometimes is far more true than
Yeah.
Yeah.
than like what we've been pushed our whole life.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no.
Oh yeah, here,
Yep.
take this pill, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, but
that
it
just
comes
keeps
with
you coming back.
47 other side effects,
Yeah.
like a bloody anus.
And you have to
Yeah.
take a pill for that, and then a pill for that,
Yeah.
and then a pill for
Or
that.
the ones that are like side effects include suicide. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's like,
is
I'm
anything-
taking it to prevent suicide.
Yeah,
What are
this
you
is an
doing?
anything worth
antidepressant.
that? like, you
It's
know,
so much bullshit.
yeah, that's does not compute. But
But it makes
But
money.
they need to
Yeah.
legalize it.
yeah,
It needs to be a thing.
yeah. I think I heard that Pete Hegseth, it's like in his top 10 things
Oh, really?
to do for in conjunction with there's something about him talking to the VA guy and RFK about moving this for veterans into
Yeah, my understanding is I think the VA is either going to or may have already
think they did a
started
study,
a
right?
study on
Yeah.
Ibogaine.
yeah, it's pretty badass. So I had friends that did ayahuasca too,
Yep.
and that was pretty good as well.
Yeah, I've heard from what I've heard from people, there's like tiers to this, right? Like
Yeah,
psilocybin's good. And, you know, you do the hero's dose or whatever, it's like 6 milligrams or more or something. And that kind of helps with the same shit. And then like the next level above that is ayahuasca. And then the next level above that is like the Ibogaine and DMT
Yeah.
combo.
Ibogaine's like it's
Yeah.
like the Matterhorn.
Yeah, they
of-
call it the granddaddy of
Yeah.
psychedelics.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
yeah, which I knew nothing about going in. I was
neither.
like, no, okay, this, and you know now
yeah, they're
I'm
like, oh, you were here to do the granddaddy psychedelics. I'm like, I am.
yeah. I was like,
Oh,
okay.
yeah, obviously.
yeah.
Go big or go home.
Yeah.
So, what else did we get? We got anything else? Did we miss anything?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Are you guys going back tonight?
Yeah, we're gonna hit the road.
Holy shit balls.
Yeah, we're gonna stop
Yeah. You guys will
part of the way
stop like
back.
Georgia or somewhere.
Yeah, we'll get as far as we're willing to tonight.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
We're not pushing it. I mean,
Okay. But dude, that's awesome. Thanks for coming down.
Yeah, you bet.
And we should do it. We should do it. I definitely want to do another one. Let's do another one. But I want to talk. See like mental note from this episode, and then we'll do another one and see how things are.
Well,
because-
you, I think it was this podcast where you had mentioned like all of the people that we've interviewed about like Ibogaine specifically has been like kind of within their like integration window.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like not like a year later.
Yeah. I want to
So
do.
that'd be cool,
Yeah,
like
we
a
should do
follow-up,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, we should do a follow up because I would like to go. And there's a guy named Wiz Buckley. Do you guys know that guy, Matt? He's a Navy fighter pilot. Well, not anymore, but he went to the same place I went to, and he has a whole foundation called No Fallen Heroes Foundation.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
He lives down here in Florida, but he goes back once a year for a maintenance dose.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to do
Yeah,
that,
I would do
but
that.
I mean,
it's
costly.
yeah. He's like a financial like investor kind of
Okay.
guy. So I think he owns a jet. So like I think,
Oh, yeah. So
I
he's
think
got- he's
doing
got the money to do it. Yeah, yeah.
I think he's doing okay.
Oh, a side note. So you guys had Keegan Gill
yeah.
on. So through vets, like once you've done a retreat, like you can become a part of this thing called the Wisdom Dojo, and it's like a 10-week.
I'm in Wisdom Dojo.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
I'm a yellow belt.
I'm like still at the very beginning.
Oh, okay.
You white belt ass
newbie.
fucking nerd.
White belt ass motherfucker. But he's my instructor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So I met him through Wisdom Dojo, and he's like, oh, like send me an email, like, hey, like here's some info on me, whatever. And I watched his dark white underbelly. What is that thing called?
Soft white
underbelly
Yeah.
interview of his story, and then like scrolling through your guys' podcast to look for stuff. I saw him, so I listened to that. And I was like, oh,
that's the episode where Tyler was sick. You were sick that day. Yeah. Fucking loser.
But his story's crazy. and what's so funny is like the first day that we met, we're like kind of doing some introductions or whatever. He's like, oh yeah, I was an F-18 pilot and blah, blah, blah. And like, he said very little about like all of his stuff, where he's like, yeah, I medically retired. I punched out and, in Virginia Beach. And I was like, oh, hope it was an easy ride.
Did you
and I was like, could not have been more wrong. Like, listen to a story. I was like, dude, like you have like the next week, I was like, I had no idea that, cause I'd heard a story before.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't know that was you. Like you did not have an easy ride. Did you hear
the story about like his VA experiences?
Yes.
That's the scary part of that whole story about how he got committed and like how it went from like I'm a fighter pilot to I'm committed in a mental institution.
Yeah. Like against my will.
Against his will, like in 6 months.
Yeah.
Like, and he said that psychedelics was the only thing that really saved his life.
Mm-hmm.
And he's pretty cool. He there was another thing. Wisdom Dojo. Going back to Wisdom Dojo. Jeremy texted me this morning. The guy that he's a purple belt in Wisdom Dojo, and
I know a guy.
Yeah.
He'll beat your ass.
he's I'm not even a belt. I'm like in the.
You're still on the outside of the mat. You haven't bowed in yet.
Yeah, I didn't take my shoes off when I walked in the dojo, and they're like,
you're watching people sweat on the mats.
Yeah, they were like, or what was that? What's the movie? They're like. Rex Kwon Do.
Oh.
Is that Office Space?
No, Rex Kwon Do is fucking...
Pedro?
Yep. And the blonde-headed kid with the glasses who was an idiot.
Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah. God, I hate that movie.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm still like... But I will say, if people are interested in the Wisdom Dojo, like every time I do my sessions with my guy, like I feel super duper relaxed.
Yeah.
I'm just not... as disciplined as I wish I could be to do it, but when you do it, you feel like we had a guy on Tim Thomas, this Australian he's a commando. SAS or commandos. And he's all about breath work. And I, at the time I was like, meh. And then now I'm like, oh shit, man. Like we fucking like that dude's a gold mine of like shit. And, we need to have him back on because I just wasn't in a position. Like I wanted to believe, I just wasn't there. And then after Ibogaine and doing Wisdom Dojo, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah. Oh, like, this shit does work.
It does work.
I think
I love doing breath work and meditation now.
And I just think even in like, okay, cool. If I can hopefully change the direction of my life, but just to be able to open your mind a little bit more and to like let go of some of the ego that is involved with every little even if I'm like, dude, just chill, like there's nobody's watching, I'm still like, oh, you're an idiot, I can't believe you're doing this. Like, why the fuck is this person still in my head?
Well, like you definitely have to like give into it. You know what I mean? Because like early on, like in my Ibogaine trip, like I was fighting it, I was like hanging on.
That's how it was me.
I was like, because previously, like psilocybin, like it kind of makes me feel like my tongue is swelling. Yeah. So I was like, it makes me a little nervous. I'm like, I don't want my tongue to swell. I don't want to stop breathing. So I was like, oh, is this going to do the same thing? So I was like, I was really nervous, and it was probably like an hour. And then like my little handler guy came over, and he's like, you need to let go. Yeah. Like you're fighting it. I can tell you're fighting. You have to just let go and let it do its thing. And as soon as I did that, like in my brain, it also said like, let go. And I did, and that's when it was like, oh shit, okay, here we go. And then it got better, but you have to let it do its thing. You can't fight it.
Yeah, I fought very hard.
Yeah.
And then I just kept getting rolled. I always tell people it's like if you ever been at the beach and a wave hits you and rolls you on the bottom and like you can't get up, that's exactly what it felt like.
Yeah.
So just over and over and over and over.
And they warned us about it too. They're like, if you don't give in, the medicine will teach you the same lesson over and over until you give up.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay,
yeah,
you gave up, asshole. Here, now the work's going to begin.
Yeah.
Well, they always say there's two ways to learn. There's endless repetition, and then there's blunt force trauma.
Heard that my whole life.
Yeah. I'm like an endless repetition of blunt force trauma.
I combine them both.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
It's slow on the uptake.
You got to reframe it.
I'm trying.
You're just getting better at learning.
Yeah. See?
Yeah.
You just reframe your failures into wins.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything is a learning opportunity, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then after that, you got to 10x your learning.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
And then buy some real estate.
Yeah. Like I did
Yeah. Yeah.
with my parents' money.
Oh, don't even get me started on that guy.
Oh, Grant Cardone's come on.
That was awesome.
Oh my God.
He knows everything. I use his tax benefits.
Did you see where he he wanted to buy a helicopter and he put like different paint schemes of the helicopter on there? He had like he was going to buy like a AW-139 or something.
Hell yeah.
And he had like different paint schemes of it.
He's like, pick my helicopter, guys.
Yeah, and everybody's like commenting, and where the exhaust was, the top part was white, and I made a comment. I was like, "Hey, man, do yourself a favor and paint that like navy blue or black."
Yeah.
Because like your guys are gonna be cleaning that thing all day long.
They're gonna be motherfucking you.
Yeah, they're like, this fucking asshole.
Because you know he's gonna expect it to be like spotless.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, something's not connected to this thing, and then they don't ever have to clean it again.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, dudes, thanks for coming down. I know that was a really long trip, and I super appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet.
I hope people get a lot out of this episode. I think.
Yeah, me too.
I think they will.
I did.
Yeah. I think this will. Anytime we talk about Ibogaine and psychedelics, it does really well because I think people are generally interested in it.
It's becoming less of an odd topic. I was not against it, but I didn't pay much mind to it because I didn't know how to go about it. But probably in the last, I guess probably even since Jeremy came on, because I'd heard somebody did an episode about it. I didn't listen to it, right?
Yeah.
And somebody reached out about something in the similar. I'm just like, I don't fucking know. I don't have time to look this up.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have to have one degree of Kevin Bacon with somebody to like
bacon.
to like be like, oh, this shit's for me. You know?
Yeah, when somebody a couple people are like, hey, I did this thing and it had a mega impact on me. Like when you're telling me that you transcended into the light orb and then you saw the world and all the light. Yeah. I was like, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it was
it was crazy. I was like, you're like, then I transcended. Yeah. I was like, oh, all right, well, Thad's not stupid, so there's something to this.
Yeah. I will 100% go back and do it again when I save up some. Yeah. I took 4 months off of work, so I'm like 8 through my savings account. So now I've got to actually work a little bit. So or sell my house for $2 million.
Bro,
and,
do it.
9%.
Yeah.
I'll cut you a deal. 1% off the top.
So, but for real, guys, thanks for coming.
Yeah, sure.
I really enjoyed it, and let's do it again. Let's do a follow-up episode.
Sure.
Definitely, I think with both of you guys.
And maybe we'll just drive up your way.
Yeah, we'll come up. We'll drive up there.
Yeah,
I'm down for that.
Yeah. By that time, we'll be so big that we'll have our own jet. And we'll 10x it.
Yeah, 10x that jet.
No, I'm gonna 15x it. It's 10x is for pussies, and that's like so 10 years ago.
That's true. It's true.
Gay.
All right.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
Love you. Bye.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.